How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the TimcastIRL podcast. Boy, do we have a show for you tonight.
Oh, yes.
Tonight I'm hanging out with some friends.
Oh, hey, what up, everybody? Smash that like button. I know we're just starting right now, but, you know.
Trying to get an early start on it.
Smash it anyway. Smash it. What's up?
We need to get like an air horn. There's also Lydia. She exists.
Yeah, and I don't want an air horn. Can we not?
No air horn?
What?
No air horn.
Why not?
I like my ears and I don't want to be deaf.
So we can
Whoa.
aim it in a
Sorry.
different direction.
Yeah.
Right into the mic.
Oh my gosh.
Too much?
Yes.
Whatever.
All right.
Can this year get any weirder?
No.
Yes.
Okay, let's start. Let's start with the beginning.
The aliens have yet to arrive.
That's true.
They're coming. I'm sure they're coming sometime soon.
But no. We're crunching a decade, and you know what this is?
What?
This year is like an anthology episode of a TV show where
Right.
all the things are like highlighted. Mm-hmm. Kind of like a, yeah. So what do we have? We have the impeachment of the president.
Right.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was great.
You know,
Yeah, I really
and then
enjoyed that.
nothing happened. Then we had this global pandemic.
Yep.
Then we have nationwide riots.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have the occupation of this 6 city blocks in Seattle. Trump's threatening to move in the military, to come in and take over or whatever.
Well, the governor was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No.
what?
There's some people in my town. I don't know.
Ladies and
In
gentlemen.
Seattle? I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first thing listen. I'd love to make fun of the stupid failed attempt at whatever it is they're doing. And we're going to.
Good.
Because
yes.
we have some photos
Yeah.
from the CHAZ that I can't stop laughing every time I see the
man.
photos. They tried to do a garden. And like they literally threw dirt on the ground and put a potted plant on top of it. What do you?
God.
Okay, but I'm gonna start laughing. But we have a moral obligation
Yes.
to debunk some fake news.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Remember
indeed.
when all those cops resigned because the old man got pushed over?
Of course.
Fake news.
What?
They didn't actually resign. They resigned from a team. They're still cops, and they explained it has nothing to do with solidarity with the other cops. Now this is significant because the left was using this to prove all cops were bad.
Yep.
So we have that story. We also have the CHAZ, and we're going to talk about the CHAZ. We got some funny pictures. Apparently they have bags of Sprite.
Oh, this is.
Hey, look.
This is going well.
I think it's funny, but that I'm not necessarily I laugh at the absurdity of a bag of Sprite.
That's kind of
but
funny.
I'm also impressed by the ingenuity of it.
Yeah.
Of like we have a 2-liter. How do we give it to people? I don't know,
Yeah.
Ziploc bags, I guess. How do you
guess.
drink? Do you like bite the bottom and then like pour it into your mouth? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, the point is there's a lot to talk about in their new autonomous zone, which is completely dependent on vegan meat substitute foreign aid. And then we've got the PS5 is out.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
Well,
yeah.
it's not out, but they finally
the
revealed.
information, right.
Yeah, they finally revealed.
So we got a
today.
big list of games. We'll talk about video games.
Talk about the
because
new
apparently there's a big backlash to one of the games because it looks like Tumblr. It's like a bunch of animal people and they're like whiny. I don't know enough about it, but apparently it's getting like just like obliterated on YouTube, thumbs down. So I figured we'd look at the list of games, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But the first thing we got to do, we actually have a bunch of stories for the first segment. An NYPD cop has apologized for kneeling, and he's like, "I feel bad, I shouldn't have done it." CPD says that they will discipline you and maybe even fire you if you kneel. But the bigger story is let's debunk this fake news. So if you haven't already, get in that super chat. We can't get to every single super chat. We'll get to as many as we can. Smash the like button, subscribe, like, share. We do the show every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. And let your friends know because apparently you guys like the show because you keep coming back. So, but let's get started with this first story. Check this out. This is from WKBW. Exclusive. 2 Buffalo police ERT members say resignation was not in solidarity with suspended officers. Quote, "It went bad. It went bad. 2 officers of the Buffalo Police Department's emergency response team spoke with 7 Eyewitness News under the condition their names not be used. The officers are part of the 57-person volunteer assignment team that resigned Friday following an incident involving 2 of their members Thursday night in Niagara Square. They did not resign from the police department, only from their roles on the team. The officers we spoke with said the Buffalo Police Benevolent Association statement asserting all 57 officers resigned from ERT in a show of support with the 2 officers that were suspended without pay is not true.
They put that on everywhere I looked was that narrative. Every single mainstream media was just pushing that everywhere.
It's not true.
And it's not true.
It's not true at all. They said, quote, "I don't understand why the union said that it's a thing of solidarity. I think it sends the wrong message that we're backing our own. And that's not the case. We quit because our union said they aren't legally backing us anymore. So why would we stand on a line for the city with no legal backing if something were to happen?
Boom.
Has nothing to do with us supporting. A representative from the Buffalo Police Benevolent Association told 7 Eyewitness News reporter Hannah Buhler the officers resigned in disgust with how the 2 officers were treated. Some of them probably resigned because they support the officer. Oh, there it is. But for many of us, that's not true. The city DA Flynn, they're not representing those guys at all. They have to find their own lawyers. They have to come out of pocket. 7 Eyewitness News was not able to reach PBA President John Evans to confirm this information or get a response to several officers shooting down his assertions. But we did obtain an email sent to PBA members by Evans. It states in part, in light of this, in order to maintain the sound financial structure of the PBA, it will be my opinion that PBA not pay for any ERT or SWAT members' legal defense related to these protests going forward. This admin, in conjunction with DA John Flynn and or JP Kennedy, could put a serious dent in the PBA's funds. You can't ask people to do something, and then when they do it and it goes bad, then you just say they're on their own. That's what an officer said. This completely debunks so much of the left's narrative. That's why they were lying about it.
Yep, exactly.
There's 2 big debunks. The first one they tried claiming is that because all these cops resigned, it proved all cops were bad. I saw the tweets going far and wide. They're like, remember when they said not all cops, just some bad apples? And then when 2 cops knocked down an old man, they all resigned in solidarity? Didn't happen.
Yep.
It also proves something really, really bad for the left. We've talked about this on the show, about the potential for getting rid of qualified immunity,
Right.
or making the cops pay their own insurance. It's actually simple. The cops just quit.
True.
Now, these cops apparently didn't quit the actual department, but they'll stop doing specific things. And I'd be willing to bet that if it came... So they were told specifically, in these protests, SWAT and ERT will not be legally protected by the union. So they said, then we won't do it.
Yeah, why would they want to risk it then?
And so what happens if you came back and said, all cops are responsible for everything? Guess what?
Everybody
We
quit.
out.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Not going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I guess it sucks, you know? Like
Yep.
we're you know, I think there's a good faith attempt at figuring out a right way to deal with some of these problems, because there are some bad people who get away with things because of these protections. And I don't like the general idea of the protections in the first place. But then you got to think about what people are being asked to do. You're asking someone to specifically go out and engage with another person. Typically, it involves violence. That's
Right.
why they have pepper spray, guns, and tasers. So you're literally telling them, we want you to go in a situation where it's likely force will need to be used, and we want you to be equipped with the maximum possible force to use, like a gun, lethal force.
Yep.
You can also have tasers. That means we expect there's a higher probability of death in these circumstances. Well, who would take that risk? What's the benefit, especially when your salary is like, what, $30K a year for a lot of these young cops just starting out?
Is that it?
Like,
That's so low.
New York,
Wow.
like 10 years ago, New York was like 27K, some ridiculous, and a lot of the cops were living with their parents.
That's insane.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
New York especially, because it's expensive to live in
Yep.
New York.
And then the white shirts were getting like 6 figures, sometimes up to like 200 or 300K.
Wow.
But those are guys who have been on for like 20 years.
Yeah,
They're high
of
rankings,
course.
supervisors.
Work their way up.
So yeah, man, this is this may be one of those issues where there is no nice rounded top where we can compromise.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a sharp, imbalance that no matter what you do, you're on one side or the other. Either we protect the cops or we don't have cops.
Yeah.
And then if we don't have cops, we see what happens, right?
Right.
What happened in LA? 200 homicides were up 250% or something.
Yep. Chicago's a war zone right now.
Yeah, well, Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess maybe these cities need just a Republican, I'm not saying it's because I agree with Republican policy, but certainly at some point you're going to stop trying to do the same exact thing over and over again
Yeah.
and expect different results.
That's
They're like-
what insanity is, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's like an internet slang definition of it.
Yeah.
But perhaps after 60, 70, 80 years of only ever voting for the same party and giving them a supermajority, you know what it could be? Not that they need a Republican, but that there's no competition.
Okay.
So Democrats don't need to compete with any other political party, so they offer nothing new.
That's a good point.
Same thing. It's like, oh, don't worry, we'll fix this one. Trust us. But here's what they're thinking. They're like, why do I care? We're going to win no matter what. Like the congressional seat goes to whoever the Democratic Party wants to get it. So why bother doing anything if no one's demanding it? You get all these
True.
people in Chicago. Not one of them is coming out. They might say change. It's like, bro, you all vote for the same people over and over and over again. You're clearly happy with what you got.
Yep.
So who are these people who are angry?
I don't know.
Well,
Did you see this? I just pulled this up right here.
what is this?
This is Millie. He's I guess it's one of the top brass, and he's apologizing for walking to the church with Donald Trump the other day. So
Yeah, he's choosing sides.
Yeah.
he's choosing sides.
The ranks are forming now for some kind of hard coup, civil conflict. I don't know what you want to call it. There's no reason for him to make a public statement on this, unless he's trying to assert he's hedging his bets right now that something is going to happen, and he needs to make sure he's on the winning team or who he thinks will win.
He's getting out in front of it.
He is getting out in front of it. Yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
I don't like that.
But I don't. You know, this is just another thing that's we've seen this already with a bunch of other Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Okay.
So they're all basically coming out against Trump, projecting he's going to lose, I guess. But another thing that's interesting about what's going on with the police is how a bunch of these police bent the knee, and we saw the National Guard do it.
Yep.
And now they're all regretting it. Yeah, take a look at this story. The cop in me wants to kick my own A. NYPD lieutenant apologizes to officers for kneeling alongside George Floyd protesters and says he hasn't been able to sleep since making the wrong decision.
Wow.
Lieutenant Robert Catani, 34, walked back his decision to kneel with protesters at a May 31st demonstration in Manhattan just 3 days later. How about the guy who got on his belly and put his hands behind his back?
Yeah, I saw
I wonder
that.
if he
he
regrets it.
regrets that, yeah.
He apologized profusely to his colleagues in the Midtown South Precinct. Catani claimed he will regret the decision for the rest of his life and had considered leaving the police force as a result. He claimed he decided to kneel to encourage the demonstrations to remain peaceful, but should not have given into a crowd of protesters. The lieutenant was pictured taking a knee alongside at least 3 other cops in Foley Square as protests chanted. And now the harder ramifications. Chicago Police Union president takes hard stand against officers who kneel with protesters. So apparently they've gone as far to say that,
You're gone.
you know, do it out of uniform, do it on your own time. But he says, well, actually, let me just give you the full context.
Okay.
The president of Chicago's Fraternal Order of Police is taking a hard stand against officers who kneel. In an interview with WGN Radio, John Catanzara said if officers want to side with demonstrators, they should do it out of uniform on their own time. Any member of Lodge 7 who is going to take a knee and basically side with protesters while they're in uniform will subject themselves to discipline in the lodge up to and including expulsion from Lodge 7.
Whoa.
Okay, so that I don't think that's actually that's the Fraternal Order. I guess they're not saying they'll be
Yeah.
fired, so I was wrong about that. Critics of Catanzara's comments were quick to point out the FOP president's own controversial social media post back in 2017. He posted a photo of himself in Chicago police uniform in front of a squad car with a sign that said, "I stand for the anthem. I love the American flag. I support my president and the Second Amendment." Catanzara posted the photo in the wake of Donald Trump and Kaepernick and all that stuff. So, I mean, that's a good criticism, I guess. You can't go out and protest for your cause and then complain if they want to do something for their cause. And not only that, like the thing about kneeling, I wouldn't even say that's a planned protest. It's like spontaneous. The cops are out. Protesters are getting all rowdy.
Yeah.
If taking a knee de-escalates things, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why is that a bad thing?
I don't know.
Yeah. Is it not, what are they supposed to do? Just like charge in and throw tear gas or arrest people or what?
I don't know. It is a tough question because what does that represent? You know, it's like conceding that everyone was ripping Colin Kaepernick apart for kneeling during the anthem, and now they're going to kneel with them. And it's like, it feels like
why is kneeling offensive for the American flag?
Yeah, why?
He literally bent the knee for the anthem. Like getting on one knee is a sign of fealty.
True.
Yeah.
But that's not what he was doing, though.
I don't care. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna come to me and start bowing before me, going, I'm actually protesting you, I'd be like, yeah, keep at it,
it up.
buddy.
Yeah, keep
All
going.
right, protest all day and night.
Yeah.
People are gonna look at you and they're gonna be like, why is that guy bowing to that man? You can call it whatever you want. So he wanted to kneel for the national anthem because everyone stood and put their hand on their heart.
Yeah.
I get it, I guess. But my reaction is like, I mean, I think you shouldn't kneel because we're Americans. Americans don't kneel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you want to, I don't see it as disrespectful. I don't even understand why it matters all that much. Just like, yeah, sure, great. I don't know. I feel like that was just a stupid. You know what? Actually, I take this back. I long for the days when all we were concerned about was someone kneeling at a football game.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
That's a good
This was
point.
our biggest problem.
Seriously.
How dare this man get on one knee?
How innocent.
Now
they
it's
were.
like,
He was ahead
how
of the
dare
game.
how dare these cops kill a dude, and the president's going to send in the military, and
They're
we're all dying of a
burning stuff.
pandemic, and they're
Yeah.
taking over cities. Well, Donald Trump has announced,
Oh, yeah.
dominate the streets with compassion.
Compassion.
With compassion.
Oh,
The
yeah.
best compassion. Everyone agrees. Donald Trump says he will unveil
Sounds good. I don't know what it means.
Right. He will look at this. He will unveil an executive order on police reform to dominate the streets with compassion at Dallas Roundtable. But he didn't invite city's black top law enforcement officials. Oh no.
No.
What does that mean to dominate? What did he say? Okay. He says in his first remarks on police reform, he described his response to the protest as dominating, but with compassion. We are doing it with compassion. If you think about it, we are dominating the street with compassion, he
Yes,
said.
over and over.
What does
Yes.
that mean?
What does it mean now, Trump? Come on.
Could you imagine a bunch of like
Help me
Trump
understand.
and a bunch of cops walking down through the protest, giving out flowers and stuff,
Peace be with you.
and hugs. Yeah, peace be with you.
Peace be with you.
Peace be with you. No, I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
I don't
And,
know either.
I find it to be quite silly, but it's quite Trumpian
It is.
Yeah.
because
very true.
he said before we need to dominate, and then
Right.
everyone got mad. Nah, you know what? Trump needs to own it. He does because
He does own it, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
well, I mean, saying dominate with compassion is like
That's
it's
Trump. You're right. That's very Trumpian
it
of
is
him.
like what you're gonna the cops are gonna be smiling when
Yeah.
they fire their rubber bullets at
Yes,
you.
the best compassion
There you go.
with bullets.
Yep. They're gonna be saying like I love you. They're gonna instead, so what they do is they'll get their sticks and they'll jump forward at the same time and go move.
Maybe
Move.
they'll put flowers in
No.
the barrels of the gun.
No. Instead of yelling move,
Still rubber bullets, but
Yeah.
move as they jab you, they're gonna go I love you. I
They'll be like,
respect you.
"Love.
I care about you. You're valued. And they're gonna be hitting people and trampling them, and then the tear gas is gonna have like hearts on it
It'll
and stuff.
smell like
I
vanilla.
love you so much. Oh, so much love.
Yeah, so much
Whoa.
compassion.
The only thing you should be doing that to is the like button.
That's right.
Smash that like button.
Yes, that's
It's just
perfect.
Any
nonstop.
chance I get. Any chance.
So I don't know if they actually talk about what Trump's real plan is going to be.
Does he have a plan? I don't know.
Wait a minute, it says the roundtable included African American leaders from the fields of religion, law enforcement, and small business owners. Then why do they title it saying he didn't invite them?
Yeah,
That's
wait.
so dumb.
I'm sorry, what?
That sounds like fake news.
In recent days, President Trump repeatedly stated his support for police and said progress would not be made by calling millions of Americans racists. That he is right about.
Yeah.
In recent days, there have been vigorous discussions about how to ensure fairness, equality, and justice for all our people. Unfortunately, there's some trying to stoke the division and to push an extreme agenda, which we won't go for. That will probably produce only more poverty, more crime, more suffering. This includes radical efforts to defund, dismantle, and disband the police, he added.
The solid points right there.
Yeah,
right.
this is good.
Exactly. Like, it is very clear that they want to keep a division and divide us all instead of just saying we're all Americans, we're all in this together. Let's figure it out together.
Well, they were all about being in it together up until they decided they needed to protest.
Right, and then we were all separate.
Think
Totally
about think about this. Every single commercial from these corporations where it did the same exact thing, where it shows like a little kid, laughing, and then it shows like cell phone footage, and then it goes, COVID-19 pandemic, we're all in this together. And everyone got really annoyed with it, like,
Yep.
ugh. And then as soon as the protests started, they immediately run full speed to say, we're with this, we're with you here. Not you though. You stay in your house.
Yeah.
But we're in this together. Now COVID's coming back.
Of
And,
course it is.
Dude, the craziest thing about it is that when Vox.com, the left-wing site, wrote that COVID was spiking in Arizona, they were like, we can't seem to figure out why these spikes are happening. Perhaps it's because they reopened the economy on May 15th. It's like,
That was like a really long
that was a
time
month ago, dude.
Yeah.
Or thousands of people gathered over the past 2 weeks.
yeah.
or maybe-
That's the incubation rate.
5 days ago, you guys were all like, let's go party in the streets and do the electric shuffle or whatever, electric slide.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
The videos of the cops doing like the dance with the people, and it's like, and now they're getting sick, and they all seem to have amnesia. Just woke up one day, completely forgot they were
symptom of
cheering for
coronavirus?
and advocating everyone going out and doing these things. So,
Ridiculous.
yeah. I wonder if the American people can see it.
Yeah.
I would
So apparently
think
there was a story about, I briefly saw this. I don't know the full details, but One American News did a poll in Florida and found that is actually tied with, Trump and Biden are tied.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were surprised to see it, and that to me is shocking.
Who did they ask, though? I'm always curious.
I don't know,
I
man.
always see these polls.
I don't
see
know.
The numbers vary so much. I see polls all the time.
But,
Earlier today, I saw 39% to I don't know,
Whatever else
it was like 55 or something.
Yeah.
Biden.
But
Trump.
any doubt that we would be wrong is completely removed once you see the double standard when it comes to them cheering for the Black Lives Matter protesters and condemning the anti-lockdown protesters.
Right.
Now they're pretending like they don't know what's causing this. Bill de Blasio was asked, they saw like a spike in cases, and he goes, we can't figure out why this is happening. It's like, what? You just celebrated the protesters. You were just on TV talking about your daughter getting arrested.
Yep.
And you forgot? I got to tell you, man, if Joe Biden wins and the Democrats continue this, my only assumption is that you have two factions in this country, morons who can't read and people who can.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, you can hate Donald Trump. But, well, actually, you know, I can't imagine anybody is going to look at how the media is functioning, how they're lying to you about everything, and then think, I would like to support that. But I
Right.
guess, hey, maybe when you're so blinded with rage for, you know, Donald Trump, you don't have a functioning brain. Like your Trump derangement syndrome makes you go insane.
Yeah, maybe.
And then they're just,
I honestly, it felt like the Democrats were totally okay with everyone that was out marching to get COVID. It's like they were like,
Yeah.
no, everyone stay inside. But if you're for Black Lives Matter, go march. And it's like, you were shoving it down our throat that this virus was so scary, that it's so infectious. It's novel. Everyone's going to get it. And then all of a sudden you're like, no, go out there and protest for your right to protest. But only if that's your cause. Everyone else stay inside. And it's like, what? Now there's a spike. And now they're like, wow, what happened? We don't know.
It was probably all those
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
It looks like you're going to get a lot more deaths.
all those red states.
What?
Yeah.
and
But it's not red states. It's blue cities,
Yeah.
blue states that are going to
It's-
get
well-
all these new deaths from COVID.
right. Well, and there are blue cities in these red states.
Okay.
So they're like, what caused the spike in Miami? And it's like, there was a major protest
Yeah.
in Miami.
Right.
I mean, what?
Not
Hello.
rocket science.
Right.
Yeah, but dude, I have to imagine there are a lot of people who are really, really dumb. And I see them posting on Facebook. And I think, you know, a lot of people underestimate just how dumb they are.
Yep.
So like I see some people that I know from, you know, Chicago, and they'll post things where it's like they clearly just saw one article one time, and that's the extent to which they understand politics.
Yep.
And it'll be like, you know, Donald Trump, like, you know, I don't know, punches puppy or something. And then they'll be like, "Arr!" And then when you try and talk to them, they're going to be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So they really just are disengaged.
Yep.
Though I do think, though,
I'm seeing it too.
the riots activated a ton of people. A ton of people.
In which way though?
Both
ways.
And I don't know which one's more or less, but I can tell you
Yeah.
there was this researcher who was apparently like a Bernie supporting like social democrat or something. I don't know his political affiliation, but he's supposedly a lefty.
Okay.
He tweeted out this study that found following the assassination of MLK, there were riots. And that swung the vote 2 points towards Republicans, which gave Nixon the win.
Wow.
And they've actually now tracked the data showing that peaceful protests give Democrats an advantage because it bolsters high-level elite talking points and news media. And riots give Republicans an advantage because it triggers fear and anxiety, and same thing, the media.
Yeah.
So when you look at these big peaceful protests, the press starts talking about this cause and the celebrations, and then Democrats hear that and they go, But then you replace that with explosions and chaos and screaming,
And warlords.
and regular Americans see that and they go, so who do you think's going to keep you safe, Trump or Joe Biden?
I just
Like, if you-
that giggle was the thought of Joe Biden trying to
Trying to
keep the
keep us
American
safe.
public safe.
This like the analogy that I often give is like you're in a schoolyard and you're told to vote for which person is going to protect you from the bullies or whatever. And you can choose Joe Biden, who's asleep in his chair snoring in the corner, or Donald Trump, who is literally the bully pushing people around.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, if I vote for you, will you be the guy? I'll stand in front of you. Don't worry. I'm the best. I'll push everybody out of your way. You're like, all right.
Front of the line for the ice cream, the best ice cream.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't
Front of
do
the
it
line.
very
Out of
good.
my
Yeah.
way. Excuse me. Chocolate from my friend here. 2 scoops.
Oh, I want to be his friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, from my friend.
Appreciate that.
So I don't know, man. Yeah. Whatever. Should we move on to the CHAZ?
Yes, please.
Yes.
This
This
is hilarious.
Excited.
Is the moment you have
Speaking
all
of warlords,
been waiting for.
Yes, I'm
Raz
so
The
of
excited.
CHAZ is running the show here.
Raz of CHAZ.
For those that aren't familiar, the CHAZ is the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone in Seattle, where a bunch of far lefty types have occupied this space rather poorly. Now, I've seen a bunch of conflicting reports. Some state that in the morning, the barricades just got moved over by random people, and the cars started driving through again, and it was gone.
Like it was normal.
Yeah, it's like back to normal. But then protesters started showing up and then pulled them back in, I guess. I don't know exactly what happened. And then there are some reports now that I've seen video of the cops going back into their precinct.
Oh, they went back.
Yeah, so I don't know if the
all
CHAZ
right.
is still a thing.
So weird.
Interesting.
But I gotta say, first, just the context. It's like there's John Brown Gun Club, which is a leftist, Antifa affiliated kind of group, and they're armed, and they're allowed to go around armed and do their thing. They're guarding the barricades, apparently checking for weapons, trying to make sure no white supremacists are coming and no cops come in and stuff like that. Which is weird because it means you have no freedom of movement and no Fourth Amendment rights
Literally
or anything like that.
checkpoints.
Well,
Seriously.
isn't the police precinct like right in the center of CHAZ? I think it is.
No,
It's
not
like right in the middle.
not right. Kind of the way it's set up like a T shape, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So it's like on one of the streets or whatever.
All right.
But so they're there, and it's funny if like CNN, Oliver Darcy said, if you listen to right wing media, they'll tell you Antifa militants, armed Antifa militants, have seized a portion of Seattle. The mayor says no such interactions have occurred.
Ah.
And the funny thing about that
Sure.
is, what does the interaction with the mayor have to do with whether or not protesters are occupying this section of the city? There's videos of it. There's photos of it. CNN, this is the craziest thing. CNN just lies.
Yep.
It's amazing how obvious and ridiculous the lies are, but people are really dumb and they don't do research. So then they end up not knowing. Anyway, in this space, a portion of the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone includes a park with grass. Well, because it's autonomous, that means they must grow their own food.
Yep.
Unfortunately, in the past, they were asking. So I actually heard that vegan meat tweet wasn't real.
Oh, it wasn't.
I couldn't find it. I can't find it. They may have deleted it.
No, that person, they made their Twitter private.
But you should still be able to search for the terms and find cached versions on Google, and I couldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of am leaning towards it's probably not a real tweet,
Okay.
but everybody took it and just assumed it was real.
Still
But who
pretty-
knows?
It's funny either way.
Either way,
I gotta give it to it.
there's a couple things you will need if you want an autonomous zone, and one of those things is self-sufficiency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
major
I bring
importance
you
there.
now to
Oh boy.
the CHAZ updates.
Yes.
CHAZ updates.
You're gonna
I
love
gotta
these
follow
photos.
this person.
You're
Yeah,
gonna love
dude.
these photos. They have a farm up as of today. Most of them have probably never seen a cow in real life, let alone do any gardening. So a lot of the plants aren't even planted, and half of them are staring at it. Half of them are staring at it, expecting to grow into ripe tomatoes any minute now. I bring you the first photo. I'm so sorry. What is wrong with these people? I'm not a farmer.
Yeah.
And I still understand the concept of digging holes and placing plants in them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And growing things. Like we have a garden.
My
It's
garden
not hard.
looks way better than that. It's like
Okay.
a square.
It definitely takes at least 3 months too. Two
Yeah.
to
They
3
listen.
months to grow
They
food.
they literally dumped topsoil on top of the grass.
And
is
cardboard?
that like newspaper there under?
It looks like cardboard.
Yeah, it looks like they dumped the dirt on top of the grass, but on top of newspaper.
Now I will admit,
So confused.
There's newspaper everywhere.
It does look like they just dumped topsoil on grass.
No. They put newspaper down first, and
What?
then dumped the. Look at that. That's newspaper. There's newspaper all over the place.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean in the entire thing. I guess
I see it all the way across.
over here,
Gosh,
like
yeah.
Yeah,
what
there's
is
newspaper
this?
poking through the dirt.
What were
oh
they
yeah, there is. What are they
thinking?
doing?
I
Take a look at this
I
one.
don't know.
Oh.
This is my favorite
Oh, I
because
love this.
they've literally just dropped potted plants on top of the soil. That's it.
It looks like they're prepping though.
Like,
looks
what-
like they're prepping to put them in the
Okay,
ground.
okay. You
All
know,
right, we'll
ish.
give them that.
maybe they've once seen a nature show or something and they might actually okay, it may be unfair to criticize them because maybe they're just getting started.
I'm going
Yeah.
to laugh at them anyway.
But I'm not entirely convinced.
What?
If only you knew how bad things really are, and there's a frumped over plant dropped in a pot on top of the dirt.
It does look like a sad plant.
Oh my gosh.
What's the last one?
I mean, that's how they come.
Now-
I've
now-
gone to the store and gotten plants like that. That's how they come.
now
So-
hold
Yeah.
on too. I think a lot of people are trying to make it seem like this guy's got his hands on his head, like he's like, oh geez, like what are we
Oh
doing?
no, he's tying his hair back.
Exactly.
I do
both,
that.
Both these guys,
Okay, okay.
both these guys are tying their hair back
gotta
or
get
putting
That
their
could be a
mask
mask.
right.
Get your
Tying the
man bun
mask
in
on.
order.
It doesn't change the fact that this is like
There's nothing wrong with a man bun, okay?
I know, it's true.
For the
I'm
record.
just saying, you got to get it in
I'm just
order.
saying.
you know what this is?
It's true.
This is
tell
like
us what this is, Tim.
you ever when you make cookies.
Yeah.
And you like roll out, you put a rolling pin down and you get a cookie cutter and you press the cookie cutter and you do it as evenly as possible to maximize the amount of cookie dough that gets cut.
Sure.
And then you have those just trashy edges and you're like, well, I got this big wad of dough. It's all just the leftover edges and it can't really do anything. It is food. You can't really do anything with it.
Okay.
That's what this is of
Yeah.
society.
I think that's true.
This is the outer edge of the cookie dough, not the cookies
Leftover.
themselves. It's the part where you're like, I can see that it's dough, but I can't do anything with it. So you have people who have like a cursory understanding of like the plant goes in the dirt and then you put water on it and food comes out.
Yep.
It's like that's a
Yes.
general thing you can understand,
True.
but they have no expertise, no specialties on any of this stuff.
They got that part though.
Yeah, apparently someone was even saying that the John Brown Gun Club are extremely inept when it comes to guns.
Oh, really?
Now, I don't know if that's true.
That's dangerous.
Because I'm not going to pretend like I know better than they do.
Okay.
But, someone was actually saying in the super chat the other day, they were like, these people have no idea what they're doing. Their training is awful.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised. You see all these people and they come down. And I bring you now to one of my favorite.
Wait, go back real quick.
Wait.
Do you think there's soybeans in there?
Ooh.
Oh, of course.
Oh, maybe.
The other thing
Yeah.
listen. The other thing I'd be
I had
wondering
to
is,
ask. Come on.
Yeah.
what are they growing? And have they considered at all the season, the temperature? Like,
No, I
dude,
doubt it.
when you buy seeds, do you ever buy seeds before?
Yeah,
And you look on the back and
definitely.
it's like, here's your seasonal window for
Yeah.
your region.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
definitely.
they literally won't send you certain seeds unless it's the right season.
Yeah. Now, again, I'm making assumptions here, but I think it's fair to make the assumptions that they have just taken random potted plants and poured topsoil in the dirt and placed them on top of it.
They're probably too close together too.
I
And
love this. Most of them never seen a cow in real life.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's funny. Someone was like, "Man, we should send them some cows and chickens," and I'm like, "Do you think any of those people would know how to
No idea.
Dude, that cow would mess them up.
Probably, yeah.
It'd be like,
It's like, you know how to turn that chicken into food? Probably not.
No, you don't.
So
Probably not.
apparently someone said they were going to bring a cow down.
Really?
Yeah, and they got all excited and didn't know if it was a troll or not.
Yeah.
Because someone was like, I've secured a cow, and they gave all the details, and like, we're going to bring it down.
Yeah. Then what are you gonna do with it?
What are you going to do with a cow?
Right.
Are you going to have it just graze? It's okay. Is the cow pregnant? Does it have did it have a calf? Is it going to
Going to
produce
give
milk,
milk.
or is it literally just a cow?
Yeah.
They have no idea how any of this works. It's like the
man.
story I was telling you about the people from Occupy who got a farm.
Yep.
And they quit after 2 weeks. Like, that was too hard.
That's way too hard. No thanks.
This is LARPing.
Yep.
They're bored and they're playing their version of like.
Well, what should we do next, guys? Let's
gotta
make a
build a
garden.
garden.
How about we give out bags of Sprite?
Yes, the bags of Sprite.
Oh, that's so good.
I love it. I love it.
I've never seen a
Listen,
bag of Sprite before,
That's
but
creative.
it is very sad looking.
Listen, hold on.
That is a sad bag.
Hold on. I respect this. 100% I respect this.
Why?
They're making do with what they
Yep.
have.
They're
Yep.
creating plastic waste.
Yes.
Don't you
okay.
That's true.
Sure.
What are they gonna do? They're just gonna drink the Sprite, throw it on the ground.
Take one bag of Sprite. It's hilarious. No, okay, now listen. If I had to
man.
listen, hold on. If I had to figure out how to distribute from a 2-liter,
Yep.
and I had no cups and I had Ziploc bags,
It'd be the bags.
I'd put them in the bags too.
Absolutely, yeah.
But even as much as I will respect what they're doing, you have to understand how hilarious it is that they've literally gotten a little bowl full of baggies full of Sprite, and they're asking you to take one of them.
Yes, I agree. It's very funny.
This looks like utopia to me. I don't know what you guys are
So,
laughing at.
This tweet is Phil that remains from All That Remains said, "I am relieved the CHAZ has necessities like Sprite in a bag." It really is funny. It is. So they've figured it out.
So
Now,
random Sprite of all sodas.
Yeah, like what?
you know what,
I don't
man?
know.
It's like, all right, I don't mind Sprite. I guess I haven't had
They
Sprite
shouldn't
in
be
a while,
drinking.
but-
Just drink water.
water.
Yeah,
That's
listen,
probably
Yeah.
good, but the best for you if you're gonna be living off the land.
This is
Gardening.
in my
I couldn't say that with a straight face.
in my opinion. I think this is.
man, that's funny.
I am deeply offended by what these people are doing.
Oh yeah.
How?
No, not really. It's just like, I'm kidding, but they're such obvious, like they're so obviously. It's like the cookie analogy I was giving, right? Mm-hmm. So in society, you have this cookie dough, and then you have the carpenter. That's a cookie. The fireman. That's a cookie. And then you have the outer edges that are somewhat useless and nothing to do with. And so they go here and they just
This analogy is perfect.
Yeah, they're just what are they doing and why are they doing it? They don't. It's not autonomous. They're literally bringing in Sprite manufactured at a plant that
Ordering
produces
pizza.
plastic,
Yeah.
probably in Mexico or something, bringing it up there and then going like, we're autonomous, and they're pouring Sprite in baggies.
Ugh.
You know what, man? Look, I once was talking to a friend who was an activist and thought they were changing the world, and I said, no, you're only fighting for your community. And they were like, no, I'm fighting for everyone. I'm like, you're using a Samsung computer, man. Do you know about the Foxconn laboratories, people walking off the building?
Right.
You're not fighting for the world. You're fighting for yourself.
Boom.
These people are peak capitalism.
Totally.
This is like in the Hunger Games, Capital City, where they're drinking Ipecac to vomit so they can eat more.
Yep.
This is the absolute excess of society that has nothing functional to do, so they're bored out of their minds.
Yeah.
So they show up to Seattle, barricade it off, give out bags of Sprite, and they have no idea what farming is other than that farming exists.
Yep.
Wait,
Dude,
how come these plants aren't growing? Maybe we should give them electrolytes.
Electrolytes.
give them
Okay, hold on.
Give them spray.
I got to do it. I got to drag Kyle Kalinske.
Yes,
Right?
do it.
Now Kyle's a good dude. I think he's a good honest guy. I disagree with him on probably. I don't really watch his stuff, but Kyle Kalinske is a progressive commentator who was flying in a plane and looked out the window and saw farms, took a picture, and then tweeted something like, "It's so beautiful. I wonder why it looks this way," and people responded with like, "Are you kidding? Like
You're joking, right?
They're farms. Like you took a picture of farms," and he was like, "Well, I didn't know." It's like you didn't know what a farm. Like, now to be fair, I think it's okay. Not everybody should know what a farm is.
Okay.
But I am kind of shocked that you can be, I don't know how old the guy is, in his 30s, and not understand that he was looking at farms. When the first time I flew, I think I was like 16 or 17.
Okay.
And I looked down and I went, whoa, so that's what farms look like.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what else do you think
Exactly.
they are?
I was like 8 when I first
Right.
flew, and I
figured out
thought
what
the
it
same
was.
thing.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. Okay. Now, with all due respect to Kyle, I'm not trying to be a dick or anything.
Yeah.
But you can consider how he looks at these farms and doesn't understand their farms. What do you think someone of his political persuasion would do when they're told you need to be autonomous? They don't know what farms look like. So, I mean, you go back to what they're doing. First of all, it's like, what is a circular plot of land where they just dump topsoil on top of the grass?
It looks like a blob.
On top of newspapers. I'm
looks-
sorry, I'm not letting that go.
It does look like
that
they put...
is newspaper underneath the dirt.
Now, hold on.
That's preventing the roots from even going through the grass to fight
And
the
killing
grass for
yeah.
nutrients.
It's wonderful.
I got to stop and say, is there something I don't know about farming? Because I'm not a farmer, but I am not familiar with the newspaper technique.
It's possible that they think this is part of composting. Like they expect the paper to break down. Like
Well-
they don't realize how long it takes. Like
Maybe it will rain and something.
yeah, exactly. Maybe
That
they'll,
would
like,
work
break
in a
up.
compost pit, maybe.
Exactly, but it's
to-
like the plants. They haven't
To
even taken out
put
of the pots.
nutrients back into soil
Right.
to use that soil again.
But
Right.
But my other question is like, what is this, and why did people just show up and just place potted plants on top of the dirt?
That just to me looks like this is where all the plants are gonna go.
They didn't get started yet,
Maybe.
you think?
That definitely.
Let's
That's-
check back tomorrow.
That's what that looks like.
Yeah,
to me.
this photo might be before the other one.
Well, there's
and
two.
then
There's
this
two
one is
circles.
where they've actually.
I saw another picture where there's 2 circles.
Oh, really?
One's further. Look, you can even
Okay.
see. Go back. You can see in this picture that
Oh,
actually
you're
there's
right.
another
Yeah,
circle,
yeah.
circle
You're right.
back there
Okay,
with
okay.
nothing planted. So
what are they? Hold on, man. Do they know how long it takes to grow this stuff?
that's what I was saying earlier. It's like, so you guys are all prepped and ready to eat in 3.5 months.
yeah.
Nice
proud of
job,
you guys.
Nice job, guys.
Well, that's why I think it's funny that CHAZ Update said there's half of them are staring at it, expecting it to grow into ripe tomatoes any minute now. Oh man, hold on. I gotta
man.
pull up whatever this tweet is. What is this one? CHAZ now. CHAZ after 2 weeks, and there's tractors pulling, and then it says CHAZ after 2 months, and there's Raz, the warlord, looking at all of the fine crops of wheat.
Is that Kim Jong Un?
I think so.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
Look at it. It is.
It totally is.
Well,
Oh,
good for them.
excellent meme.
Good for them, CHAZ.
I'm having fun.
I'm glad
Yeah,
we're bringing these on.
I you know what? I find the CHAZ endearing now.
I kind of do too.
Now, to be fair, we're all laughing at it, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
am.
you won't be laughing in 6 months when they have like this massive field
Like
of
a
crops,
jungle of
and there's
food.
like 300 armed dudes, well trained, wearing like full SWAT gear, and they're guarding it, and the military can't get in.
But who's doing the work though?
No one's producing anything.
They
Dude.
don't want to work for it.
Let me tell you exactly how these things go down because I've seen them.
Oh, tell me, Tim.
They all show up, and they're like, "This is an autonomous zone," and they're like, "Rad. What do we do? Well, we need food. How do we get it, bro?" And then he pulls out a bucket and he goes,
Jump circles.
and then they all
we do
yeah.
jump circles.
No, he doesn't even suggest it. He just starts doing it. And then they're all just sitting there going like, The funny thing about Occupy Wall Street was the evolution of the instruments through time.
Yeah.
It was like when Occupy first started, someone was banging on a bucket. Then someone else brought like a wind instrument, and then brass instruments, and then stringed instruments, and then it slowly evolved into like full band with guitars and like people singing. And I was like, wow, in 2 weeks they've gone from the primitive, prehistoric, like caveman music of banging all the way into the advanced, compositional structure of modern times.
It's inspiring to see.
Next, we'll have a full orchestra.
Exactly.
Oh, here we go. Check it out. You were right. You were right.
No way.
All right, boys, we got a new photo of the CHAZ community garden. They actually planted the sprouts, but it's in a very unorganized fashion.
Oh, no.
Obviously, none of these people have farmed before, but hey, what can you expect? It's Seattle. You were right. It's cardboard.
Oh, that doesn't.
Wait, hold.
That's
hold,
even
How
worse.
do they do that?
The roots won't go through.
I'm so confused.
I gotta stop.
Oh my.
I'm assuming there must be something I don't know about why you put cardboard down before planting something.
And
I
not
am
only that,
going
look,
to.
you were right. They are putting it straight on top of the grass. So
Yeah, I know.
so the grass roots are all underneath the cardboard.
What is this? Roots
Roots need to be able to go down into the ground and expand to gather nutrients.
Someone says, see here, this is the point I was making, because I'm not a farmer. Someone said it's permaculture. It should work, but they're still doing it horribly wrong. Okay, all right.
Okay.
See, there you go.
So they had the idea. All right,
So
I
this-
can respect it.
This is exactly kind of what I was saying, though, that like they saw something on TV and they were like, put cardboard down and then dump the dirt on top of it. Now, but I wanted to be careful about how we're going through this because I don't know about farming, man.
I bet they got all of their farming tips from 4chan.
That's entirely possible.
Mm-hmm.
I will not rule that out.
And someone in 4chan's like, oh, I got them good.
Oh, yeah. Well, it kind of makes sense because I found like layers of burlap or whatever as I'm Googling it because I'm like, there has to be some reason they're doing this. They don't look totally off the chain. They just look like they had a seedling of an idea and they didn't really know how to follow through on
Well,
it.
I've worked on a farm before and I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Permaculture?
Both.
And that's why
My uncle has a huge farm, like 200 acres. And then I've worked with permaculture people up in New York.
You've never seen them lay cardboard on top of grass and then dump soil on it.
No.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
That's what causes me to giggle.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's amazing.
No, I've never seen that. No. It's ridiculous.
So someone on the super chat says, how are they going to weed their farm? How are they going to make sure the plants get water evenly? Jesus H. Christ, no, just no. Nothing of what the CHAZ is doing makes sense. Coming from someone who grows plants.
Oh, there's a super chat?
Yeah, I'm just looking at what people are saying because I'm like, listen, man, listen. Imagine how stupid we would look if we're sitting here like Tweedledee and Tweedledum laughing at how dumb they are. And it's actually a real technique because I don't know. I don't farm.
So technically,
I've been around farmers.
Yeah, Adam knows, but I'm reading this just now, and this might be relatively new, which might be why you haven't seen anything like this. But they're talking about how cardboard is a good way to keep grass and weeds from growing through. So maybe they are brilliant.
that-
and we're behind.
That's for like front lawns with flowers and stuff.
Yeah,
You
I think
prevent
they're-
weeds from growing through.
This is not to scale for sure.
But you can't just put like a 4-inch layer of dirt on top of that.
Why not?
Plants need to grow in, like they need roots.
I don't
The
know,
root
man.
systems are
Need to
important.
grow? What? Okay.
So we have some misinformation updates we got to go through here. CHAZ update says, the document. This person who tweeted documenting misinformation. CHAZ is out of food. Supplies have been stolen by homeless. Warlords running the community. People have given up and it's shut down. Food is plentiful. The atmosphere is friendly. Still holding up. Pictures below taken same day as post. So here's what I saw this post and I didn't believe it was real. They said the Seattle Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone LARP is over. The kids couldn't go for one day without food, so they left. True radical purveyors of a revolutionary change, no doubt. The next photo we see, no, it's still all there. And this flies in the face of CNN, who are trying to claim that like none of this is going on. Here's people like playing music, hanging out, and there you go. So CHAZ update says this is correct. CHAZ still does have food. They've ordered pizzas and everything. They're not out of food or anything, and most likely won't be for a while. It's still holding up quite well despite the idiots. I don't know who CHAZ updates is, but they're having a good time making fun of everybody.
Definitely.
And I appreciate it. Here we go. The cow will not produce milk until her demands are met. Concerns, barricade safety, trash, medical deliveries, first responder access, guns, check.
Guns.
Anime for the cow.
I'm very confused.
Well, I wish the CHAZ, here we go. What's this? Seattle PD and Chief Carmen Best have entered the East Precinct to inspect the building. Officers have made it clear they want the building back. Uh-oh. What's going to happen?
Ooh.
Bags of Sprite will be given out, and will the... What is this?
Oh, no.
All right, I don't know what else what else is going on, but we'll keep an eye out for what's happening over in the CHAZ and the CHAZ
They look
updates.
like they're having fun.
What is this?
It just
Update
looks
account
like
for
it's
the
turning into
wacky
memes.
S that is happening at Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone CHAZ, and this guy's firing laser beams from his eyes.
Yeah.
So they're gonna farm.
Ridiculous.
They're gonna become autonomous, though they still require the Dominoes to bring their food.
How many people are there? Do you know? Like,
According
what's
to
the
their
population
according
of
to the
CHAZ?
Wikipedia for the independent government of CHAZ, 200.
200.
But they do have 500.
Wow.
I believe there are 500 residencies within the area they control.
Wow. All right. So those little circles,
Not enough food.
that's enough. That's enough food for maybe.
2 people?
Half a person.
Well, sure. For like, I mean, it looks like because you gotta harvest it, and wait for it to become harvestable.
Yeah, they're LARPing.
Then
dude.
harvest it.
It's a game. They're playing.
Everyone gets a slice of tomato.
Yes.
They're playing a game of rebels and,
one
revolutionaries.
soybean.
Yes.
They're playing rebels and revolutionaries in their backyard.
Yep.
And they're pretending to farm. They saw something on the internet. They laid out cardboard, dumped soil on top of it, and then they placed potted plants on top of the soil. All right. I guess some people are saying it's bad. Some people are saying that the general idea is there. Cardboard is to stop the grass to get dirty.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe they're doing it because they expect to move it all after the fact and want the grass to stay there. You know?
Because they know they're
No, the
LARPing.
grass will get killed.
Yeah, but how long?
Probably. I mean, after a few weeks, if it
Right,
doesn't
right.
get
So they're
any-
going to be there for a day, and they know it. So they're there to play, rebels and revolutionaries with their friends,
That's
Oh,
commitment.
and they don't want to hurt the park, so they've laid the stuff out so they can move it later.
That's very nice of them.
They're playing a game, and they're gonna and they're ordering pizzas basically like like we were saying the other day, like, Mom, can we get pizza with like extra pepperoni? No, don't get pepperoni because people are vegan. Oh, can we get it with the peppers and the mushrooms, but don't do cheese because Billy's vegan. And then she's like, okay, I'll go get your pizza for you. I mean, really think about what it is. They come and play music. They talk. They do like hippie dancing and stuff. People are planting potted plants that aren't going to produce.
The look on your face.
What?
The hippie dancing was to die for. I would
Oh,
like
yeah.
you to do some more hippie dancing. I'm sorry. I'm
So,
just
like,
throwing
Oh,
that
I
out
wish
there.
everyone could have seen the look on your face. It's
sorry,
priceless.
yeah. That's why I don't put the camera
so look, they want to have a farm with food, right?
Yeah, a
They would
farm.
need to till
Yeah.
like that
Those are little
whole
circles.
field,
Yeah,
and they
the
still wouldn't
entire
feed
field.
everyone in
That's
their community.
Absolutely,
backbreaking.
you're
The
absolutely right.
funny thing about it is, none of these people understand at all how much labor goes into producing enough food for one person.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why when they fly over these fields and they can see just like as far as the eye can see farms, they're like, I wonder what those things are.
Yeah.
Because they assume like you plant one thing in the garden and then you have food for a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, let's just put 50 plants in the dirt and we'll feed 200 people. No, they clearly don't want to feed people.
No.
Right.
They're not trying to feed people.
Nope.
They're just LARPing.
It
Yep.
is peak capitalism that they
Absolutely.
have no idea.
It is
what
the
takes to
edges of
feed.
the cookie dough you can't
Right.
use.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's-
they don't even have to work. That's how peak capitalism it is.
When you take a cookie cutter and you cut out that nice perfect circle, that full circle is one job. Outside of it is just tidbits that can't do anything. I mean, it's there. You just
Yeah.
eat the dough, I guess.
Yeah, you do.
They can't do anything for anybody. So they go and play make-believe because they're bored.
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
I'm
I
glad
wish
they're
I
gardening.
wish Chaz the best, and I have to say,
Yeah. Sure.
I find
me
it all
too.
I find it all very endearing and kind of cute. It's like a bunch of little kids playing a game of cops and robbers,
it is
man.
kind of.
And we're laughing and having a good time at the absurdity of what it is they think they're doing.
They're
Yep.
not shooting anyone.
And but it's the people who think they're actual revolutionaries walking around with guns, and they're like, yeah. And then you're just like, isn't that cute?
You're like, whatever.
I'll tell you what, man.
Someone's telling me to look up Operation Homeless on 4chan. I don't know
Oh,
what it is.
Gosh, I'm scared.
I really
But hold
want
on.
to see what
I
it
wanna
is
know.
though.
Have you seen the photos of the John Brown Gun Club guys?
No. Well, no. What we've seen on our show, like yesterday, you showed
Right,
a
so-
couple things.
Yeah.
They're standing at the barricades and they've got rifles.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
What's gonna happen? Your Proud Boy shows up and walks in. What are you gonna do? You shoot him? Cop shows up. He's got a gun. He says, "Move." What are you gonna do? You're gonna move.
Yep.
It's
Agreed.
completely useless. They're just LARPing. They're having their moment where they get to pretend to be Fidel Castro or whatever, staging the revolution of the streets. People are going to come in, and it's going to be a bunch of ineffective hippie dancing, and their demands make literally no sense. One of their demands is black doctors for black people.
Yeah. That's great.
Huh?
What?
Like, what? Why?
Yeah.
What?
One of their demands is that in the healthcare system, if a black person goes to the hospital, there's a black doctor who will treat them.
Do they want to be like segregated? Is that what they're
Yes,
looking
they do.
for?
Yes. Now, I don't know if all of them do,
I
but
don't get
but
it.
during Ferguson, I believe it was Ferguson, there was a letter written that said that to the activists, segregation was a plot by white supremacists to force them to be second-class citizens. I'm not exaggerating. This is literally what they argued. Some activists.
Okay.
The argument was during segregation, they built up their own Wall Street. They in Tulsa, I guess it was called, and it was firebombed and destroyed by white supremacists or something like that.
Okay.
They actually had their own parallel economy growing, building their own homes and families and everything.
Okay.
It got destroyed. Segregation ends, and they argue that that was the plan by the white supremacists so that these people would be kept in perpetual poverty and never rise above white people.
Wow.
That's what some of the Black Lives Matter activists believe.
That's interesting.
I'm not going to pretend like it's everybody, but that was one of the things that was being circulated when I was down there. But I mean, think about where we've gone since then. To entertain that argument, under the Democrats, things haven't been going well for the black community.
to put it mildly.
And I'm not going to pretend to play this game where it's like they're the real racists. No. You can believe whatever you want to believe about the Democrats, but come on, let's take a look at these cities. These cities in these states that are overwhelmingly blue, that have all of the problems they complain about.
That's a
and
good point.
I don't mean they in the black community. I mean they in social justice activists,
Right.
which includes, Black Lives Matter and just general social justice, critical race theory. All of these lefties are like, police brutality is a huge problem. In cities.
In blue cities.
In big cities, right? Agreed. Yeah, okay, sure. Not in small town Bumpkinville,
Right.
where Officer Friendly knows your dad. It's in the big cities. And you can argue that maybe that has to do with, like we've argued about community policing, like the cops don't know anybody.
Yeah.
But that doesn't explain other places, like we talked about this too, Tokyo, where they have bigger cities and they don't have the same problems. So perhaps that argument they made about segregation isn't necessarily wrong. And that Michael Bloomberg, for instance, who ran as a Democrat recently, is overtly racist and even said so proudly on a recording where he's
he
like, yep, I do this specifically because, and targeting them based on their race.
Yeah.
So listen, man, I'm not going to pretend to know all throughout history, whatever all the conspiracies and the plans were, but there are certainly some people who feel that the Democrats' plan the whole time was to keep them subjugated through these horrible policies, put them in cities, and then have police go around beating the crap out of people. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that's one of the reasons they probably believe that's the case. I certainly think segregation is a horrible, horrible thing.
Agreed.
And I like the idea of us all being Americans
Me too.
and just hanging out with people we want to hang out with and being buddies with people of all different races. And that's what it was like for me growing up on the south side of Chicago.
Here, here.
Yeah. Well, now you're actually hearing from people who want segregation. Like they want graduation ceremonies for only one race,
weird.
things like
Going-
that.
I don't
Going
get that at
backwards.
all. Yeah, it's going backwards. Exactly.
It's identitarianism, man. It's there was a really funny thing. I think it was Sargon who said this. Sargon of Akkad,
okay.
Carl Benjamin. He was like, the SJWs and the alt-right want the exact same things. Why don't they work together?
Yeah.
It's interesting point.
Yeah, it's like they disagree on what should be on top of things, but they agree on the separation or whatever. Then let them do it. Like, congratulations, go do your thing.
We got to judge people on their character.
Yeah. There's
Right,
no other
exactly.
way.
Color of skin is irrelevant.
Yeah. it
Yep.
doesn't-
And sure, there's problems with our society, but let's fix the society. Let's tweak what needs to be tweaked.
We are a country of reform,
But
man.
let's stay together.
Right. We have.
I don't-
Otherwise, we're
I-
going to be
look,
fighting each other.
Yep.
I think that's going to happen. I think it's inevitable. I
Fighting
think
each other?
in some form or another, the way I see it is the dominoes have already fallen over, and the avalanche has already started.
Okay.
There's no way to stop it at this point. It's going down the hill. And I look at generals coming out and opposing Trump, and I see them hedging their bets. They're literally Matt Taibbi wrote this last October that we were in the counting heads phase. Who's loyal to who? And so now the generals are saying, not to Trump. They're going to call him out. That way, if something happens and Trump gets disavowed or something like that, or, they don't want to be seen as Trump loyalists.
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh, no, we spoke out against him. I think when you have all of this media, I think this is what what the Democrats may be hoping for, to scare people into thinking no one supports them and they're on the wrong side of history. So they panic and just capitulate.
Yep.
But I wonder if because of the secret ballot, it won't be enough. But maybe that's why they want mail-in voting. This is the funniest thing, man. I'll tell you. A lot of these high-level journalists, I believe, are authoritarian, evil people. It's shocking to me when in New Jersey, you have this crazy story where a head of the NAACP says cancel the entire election because mail-in voting failed and 20% of the vote was disqualified. And then you look at Washington Post, New York Times, and they're like, there's no evidence of voter fraud.
100,000 mail-in votes just get found or something? What is
They
that?
got misplaced.
Where was that?
They got like sent.
Remember where that's
I
from?
forget where it was, but they got like missent or mislabeled, or
Right.
the people never received them, and it was like,
AKA they didn't
Big
count.
deal.
They didn't
Big
count
deal.
those votes.
yeah, exactly.
And you want to do this? You
That
want
will
you want
swing
a
an
mail-in
election.
vote? No.
100,000 votes. Yeah.
I think if we want to do mail-in voting, we have to have a very secure system developed over a long period of time, tested,
Right.
tried out,
Yep.
and after the election, not before.
Yeah.
Weren't they just trying to defund the USPS, the United States
Well,
Postal
that was
Service?
Republicans.
Oh, the Republicans wanted
The
to do that?
Democrats were trying
What
to
a mess.
bolster it.
Oh, okay.
And the argument for the Democrats was that if the Republicans defund the Postal Service, we can't have mail-in voting.
Oh, of course, that's why they want to keep it.
Look,
there.
I'll tell you this, man. I don't trust Republicans. I don't trust the Democrats. I think both sides are trying to bend the rules to benefit them to make sure they win because
100% agree.
they think
Definitely.
they're the right ones to win.
Yeah.
That's always the problem.
With
too.
that being said, I think the Democrats are completely insane. Just 100% totally insane.
Yep.
You look at CNN, right? And this is a contributing factor to why I feel this way. Oliver Darcy says that, if you watch right-wing media, armed Antifa militants have seized a portion of Seattle. I mean, it's kind of an extreme way to put it, but it's not necessarily untrue. I mean,
Right.
John Brown Gun Club is there running a checkpoint for an area they deemed autonomous, and
Framing is
there's photos of it.
everything.
We know it exists.
Yep.
He then says, the mayor says they have no interactions with these people, as if that disqualifies the first point he made. It doesn't. Just because the mayor never talked to any of these people doesn't mean it's not happening. So when I look at how CNN is lying all day, every single day, I don't trust anything they put out. Then I see what the Democrats are doing, and I'm like, they're insane people who just want power. But there are people who think they're the good guys and they hate Trump. But I'll tell you what, CNN's lying to you. They're lying 100%. It's crazy that I can literally tell you, make sure you watch CNN to know what they're saying. If you don't just watch me, watch CNN, watch Fox, watch conservatives and progressives, and absorb as much information as possible.
Yep.
And then they tell me that I'm lying to people and tricking them.
Compare and contrast.
Yeah. seriously.
CNN literally says, don't watch the spin, just come to us for the facts.
Wow.
So this is what I tell people. The easiest way to know whether or not you are in a cult is if you are forbidden from learning. Period.
Boom.
Any legitimate, free-thinking organization who's on the right side will tell you learn everything you can.
Absolutely.
So
do
I
research. Do the research.
Yeah, do your own homework,
I'm talking to
man.
this person I know, and I'm like, they're like, I only watch, NPR and this news. And I'm like, yeah, you're in a cult. No, I'm not. I know the truth. You just believe crazy things. And I said to them, the best way to know if you're in a cult is if you refuse to learn.
Yep.
If you say, I know, I don't need to learn. Congratulations, you're in a cult.
I don't need to read what you're saying to me or what that article says because what I believe is true.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
this person told me.
Sounds pretty religious.
So that's the best I can say. How do you know you're on the right side? You're open to all sides of information, and you're trying your best to understand how people feel.
Yep.
And when you do
Empathy.
that, yeah, but also just you want to know the truth.
Yep.
You can't assume what's a saying about stupid people are confident, smart people are so full of doubt.
Yep.
That's really what it is. So when I read something, I'm like, is this true?
Yeah.
And so I'll check different sources. Now you're looking at the New York Times, and they're claiming that it's funny. The New York Times claims all this is happening. They're calling it free speech and free movement, and it's a liberated space. CNN's telling you it's literally not happening at all.
Interesting.
So like, what?
Which is true. Is it great or is it not
Do I
happening?
ignore the photos of people doing it? There's videos of this.
Yeah. They're
It's
they're
crazy.
live streaming. They're
And they-
walking
and they-
around the whole place.
And they claim
live
it's
streaming.
all.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
there.
we got to do one more quick segment before we jump over to the super chats.
It doesn't have
Alright.
to be that quick.
We can do it.
I'm just a little excited about it. So we're going to be talking about the new PS5. I don't know who saw the...
Yes.
so PlayStation actually pushed this back. This was supposed to happen 2 weeks... Or, I don't know. When did the riots start? Right,
2 weeks ago?
May 4th?
May 20 May
5th?
27th or something.
Yeah.
Or
When it started, yeah, because
the beginning. Right.
The 27th, I believe.
So the 27th. So they were supposed to have this, and they pushed it back, and they're like, you know what? We got to wait. And today was finally the reveal. 2 million people live. They were hosting it live. There was 2 million people peak, and it was awesome. So check us out here. We got
2 million concurrent.
2 million concurrent people
Wow,
were
dude.
there watching
Whoa,
this.
I want 2 million
The
concurrent.
PlayStation 5.
So here
now
we go.
here's the first few things we got to get to for those that are just tuning in.
What's that?
Well, the weird game controversy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
But there's a bunch of games we're gonna look at some of the games that are coming out because some look awesome, like Horizon Zero Dawn Part 2
Yeah.
and Spider-Man. And some people
Demon Souls remaster. Actually, I don't know if it's a remake or a remaster. They're not really specific on that. But they're saying there's some new things that they're adding, so I don't know if it's an actual remaster. It might be a remake, which I'm actually really for. If they remaster it with some tweaks, that sounds the best. So
yeah. All right. Well,
I'm
what's going
excited
on with
about
this
that.
year PS5, man?
So you can see here, this is the new PS5 console with the new controller, and you can actually lay it on its side. It doesn't look like you can, but I think it's sitting on a stand here. But I've seen it sideways, so you can actually lay it down on its side. People are making up all sorts of random memes now with this.
Somebody said it looks like a Wi-Fi router.
Yeah,
kinda
It really does.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's it's an electronic device, so
Looks
how
like nice
they're
and
they're
slim.
all kind of similar, in the long run.
So
I don't know, I like it. I
what's
think it
good
looks
about it?
sick.
Apparently, it's got like new tech or something.
So it's got an amazing SSD drive that's supposedly better than anything that's out there, and it's 100 times faster than the PS4, which
Oh,
is
cool.
That's insane. There's no loading times.
None. And then it's
None.
disk driven.
No, SSD is solid state.
Because I see it. Isn't there a disk drive on it? Right
That's
there?
that's for the Blu-rays /
I see.
PS4 games. You can still play PS4
yeah.
games.
that's
But everything's gonna be
cool.
digital.
And actually, it comes with a digital version that doesn't have a slot, so you
Oh,
can get it
interesting.
without the slot. It'll probably be like $100 cheaper if I were to guess, because they'll include the Blu-ray player. But we don't know the prices. There's lots of guesstimating. Everyone's going, $500 to $700. That's kind of like I had a tweet, and that's pretty much the consensus. Somewhere between. I wouldn't be surprised if it was $599. That sounds about right to me.
Seems
That's,
high though.
yeah, I mean, it's the next gen. It does seem high, but people are gonna pay for it. They're gonna want it.
next
They
big
want it.
thing.
I mean, 2 million
Yeah.
people were eagerly watching this.
Yeah.
So let's we got the.
You want to take a look at the games?
Yeah, here we go. So we got this is the PlayStation YouTube page, and it basically just has all the trailers split into individuals, so we can see all the games. And the one I'm most excited is absolutely the Demon Souls game. That looks
Cool.
incredible. Really excited about that. Horizon Forbidden West looks really dope. That's the Horizon Zero Dawn sequel. The NBA 2K1 looked really good. I don't play basketball games, but a buddy of mine does, so I'm always interested in anything friends of mine play.
Some of these look pretty cool. I need to watch these though. I haven't seen all of them.
That one right there. All right,
Which
so
one?
so Grand Theft Auto 5.
They're redoing Grand Theft
They're
Auto.
not making Grand Theft Auto 6. They're just enhancing Grand Theft Auto 5.
That's why it's all thumbs down. Look at that.
Oh.
Like to dislike ratio.
Oh wow, yeah, look at that.
Remember when Rockstar used to make games?
Man, Rockstar has been milking that game for way too long.
If
Rockstar,
it ain't broke, don't fix
this
it.
is a message for you. Stop milking that game. Give Red Dead Redemption
Nah,
2 some more love.
Nope.
Make GTA 6 like everybody wants. Please.
No, listen, man. If
Please.
it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're making fat cash off that game. Why
It's
stop
true.
now?
I mean, in their defense, they have consistently brought new stuff into GTA 5 nonstop throughout the past.
That's good.
6 years, 7 years.
Holy cow.
I don't know. When did that game come out? I don't know. 8 years ago now.
Google it.
I don't know. It's been out for a long time, and they just dropped some new stuff last year. So constantly they're adding new stuff. It's pretty cool.
What's this thing about like some SJW games? I don't even see it. Where is
All
it?
right, here, go up. Let me see it. It's
You see it here?
I don't know if it's SJW. I don't know what exactly is. It
Where is
looks
oh,
like
here we go. Volcano High.
it
This thing.
looks like some emo.
Whoa, this thing's getting nuked hard.
It
Look
looks
at
like
this.
emo furry land.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Can,
But I
can we
don't-
watch it? Are we gonna get in trouble?
Well, yeah, we probably can't play the whole thing, but I'll just show like
it looks pretty bad. It
Oh,
looks
my
like a bunch of
Lanta.
sad furries crying.
it looks
about
like somebody took
life.
Tumblr avatars and made it into a cartoon.
Ah,
They burned their yearbook. Goodbye, Volcano High. They burned the book.
I mean,
honest-
Look, there's some deep in thought emo
this
looks.
really does look like Tumblr, like come to life.
Oof.
You know, one thing I'm a little annoyed at. People go back a page.
Like go back
So
to
there,
the
yeah. So there's a new Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
it looks really cool. It looks awesome. Everyone loved Spider-Man when it came out for PS4, and now they're all
Where is
there's
it?
talk. It's Miles Morales.
Morales.
Excuse me, Miles Morales.
Oh, there we go.
And it looks dope, this game, and I really.
Nah, everybody likes this. Look at this. This is totally thumbs up.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was reading on Twitter. I'm looking through, and there's some people out there, and it's not just about this. I'm going to bring other games into my point here, but they're upset because it's not Peter Parker. It's not Spider-Man.
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but did you see Into the Spider-Verse? That movie was awesome.
It's a good movie.
For one. It was a great Spider-Man movie, and it makes sense. His character. It's not like they're just shoving, a minority in someone else's shoes.
No, I think
it's if they're gonna do it, this is kind of the best way that they did it. It's cool. It's a multiverse. It makes sense. He has his own storyline of how he became Spider-Man. I like it. I dig it.
They already had like
I'm excited about it.
They already had like a Spider-Verse,
right?
A long time ago. I don't know when the original comic or whatever came out, or but I remember when I was growing up watching the Spider-Man show, they had the Spider-Verse. So sure, you can make a bunch of different Spider-Man type characters, but I do think it is extremely lazy when they do hand-me-down characters.
Well, that's kind of what's happening with Ratchet and Clank. So there's a new Ratchet and Clank game. This actually looks really smooth. The gameplay looked really pretty. And then at the very end, they warp to a new plane, and Ratchet becomes a girl.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So it's like, wait a minute. Is it Ratchet or is it this?
Ratchetta?
I don't know. It's right at the very end. Here, it's seriously right at the end. He lands. I'm just gonna play this one scene. Boom. Huh? Who?
What?
So it's like.
So it's not Ratchet?
Wait. Is it Ratchet or is it not? I don't know.
I never played Ratchet.
But this is what people are complaining about. They're like, why wouldn't you just do something new? Why are you gonna try to shove, and replace?
Lazy.
And that
are they replacing though, or are they adding a new character?
I have no idea.
So
people
look,
love to jump to conclusions.
But this one also got a thumbs up, and I think
Ratchet and Clank, people love it. And honestly, this game looked so. This is not my type of game. It's very colorful. Also, it looks really fun. I was like, oh man, maybe I'll play this game. It does. It looked really smooth. It felt like a next gen game.
What do you think's going to happen with Last of Us 2?
Honestly, I don't even think about that game.
Yeah,
I'm not
really.
A lot of people are like, yeah, why did they even need a second one? The first one came to a conclusion. It was a great story. What is the second one even about? Then they're censoring people that are leaking stuff.
DMCA
like
takedowns
crazy.
on people who are talking about it even.
Yeah, and it's like,
well,
okay.
I'm hearing like the game's gone like SJW or something. Honestly, I don't follow a lot of these criticisms of these games.
Okay.
I'm not gonna play it anyway. My thing is all like that Volcano High thing where it looks like Tumblr.
Oh gosh, it looks so bad.
It does. It looks really bad, and everybody seems to hate it.
Yeah.
But I don't care. Whatever. I'm just not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
So that's what I say. It's like, listen, man. Let them do their skin suit thing, where they take the withered husk of what used to be, and then they drape it over their bodies and prop it up, and let them prop it up. I don't know. I'm gonna ignore it, and it's not gonna get money from me.
Yeah.
I guess there is the problem though that, like when it comes to these SJW type takeovers of intellectual property or institutions, they get money from external sources, and sometimes through force, like through taxpayer funds. That's when it gets scary.
Yeah.
Propping up things that can't succeed that everyone hates by forcing them to pay for it. I'm not going to be a fan of that. But I don't know. Have you noticed any other interesting games that come out?
Resident Evil 8
cool.
is coming out. It looks beautiful.
That's a cool franchise.
Yeah, the earlier Resident Evil games always annoyed me because of the camera angle force. You don't control the camera angle. It's a static shot. That always bugged me, so I just never could get into Resident Evil games.
Apparently, Bug Snacks is really bad.
Oh, it looked terrible.
What is this? They gotta make games for kids, though, man. Come on.
Yeah, sure, but it's when we're waiting for this, they've been toying with us. PS5 reveal these epic new games, amazing graphics, and you see this. Just click to any screenshot.
Dude, the graphics look like 1999 CGI kids programming.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Tim.
This is the PS5. So I'm supposed to pay for this?
Yeah. So when I saw this, I was like, "What is this?" It started with this strawberry with googly eyes popping out of the ground, and like, bop, 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 and then it gets eaten by that walrus bear.
What?
I don't know what that thing was, but
hamburger? Is that a sub sandwich?
It looks like a sub sandwich snake. I don't know.
Now I will say, the CGI looks really, really bad, but somehow still kind of good.
Well, it's because of the lighting.
Exactly.
The lighting makes everything.
The lighting is good, and everything else is just awful.
Wow, yeah.
Exactly. It looks like someone built it on Unity and was like, oh, man, we could just add these new lighting effects, and it'll be great. And it's like, yeah, but that's not what we want.
Yeah.
We've had these games for a long time. I want something
it's
really
the lighting, dude.
Clean and new to make it look like I'm looking into a world that I can believe. I don't get that here. I mean, yes, sure, it's for kids, right?
What's
a good point. a kid's gonna be like, "This is great! I'm a walrus eating strawberries."
But what's that? You know that game where you play a little a little guy and you can press L and R and his arms goes up, and then he jumps and you can like climb things and it's like the controls are all kind of wacky. What's that game called?
No.
Is that Load Runner?
No. It's a 3D game. It's a lot of fun. I'm sure everybody knows what it is. You start with a character that's just like a white model, and you can add beanies and shirts and hats and stuff.
Beanies.
And then it's the reason I bring that game up, and I'm sure I'm going to see it in the chat pop up in 2 seconds, is because the graphics are trash.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really fun game. So you can play online multiplayer, and you can you when you press right or left, his arms go up.
Okay.
And then you can touch the walls and he grips.
Huh.
But you can also grab other people and then like drag them, and then they try and grab and stop you, and then it's I love playing that game because there's always like little kids screeching.
So look at this game though. This is the new Little Big Planet. It's basically Little Big Planet 4. This is for kids also. This is a
Human fall flat.
Yeah, I
Human
just saw
fa-
that.
human-
Yeah.
Someone get you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
human
Nice,
fall
nice.
flat.
So
Thanks, guys.
this game, the graphics are amazing. I'm gonna just play a little clip. You can't even see how good the graphics looked because this is like through a screen now. But this is what I'm talking about. This is a kid's game. This looks it's kind of like because Little Big Planet was a side-scrolling game with
Right.
with a little bit of depth. But now it's like full 3D environment.
That's cool.
It's dope. It's like this
Yeah.
is the evolution that we were expecting to see for a kids game, not that other stuff that looked like somebody's first development project. Like, oh, cool, you made a game. You should have released it on
Yay.
Steam first, and
Yeah, seriously.
then built your way up to PS5. The PS5 reveal. It was some of these games were really disappointing.
I was expecting PS5 to be like you're looking through a window when you play the game.
Like Gran
Instead, a lot of these
Turismo
games-
7 looked amazing. That is exactly what you'd expect. Like looking through the window, you're like, wow, I feel like I'm driving this car. And they showed like a lap around a race, and it looked dope.
You know what, man?
So clean.
That Volcano High, I guarantee they were thinking about their release games and how they were going to maximize sales. There are so many games.
We got to catch these emo
Yes,
teenagers.
Yes, they were like, what about the 14-year-old Tumblr market? No, for real. Because you think about the animations of that game and it looks really, really bad.
Okay.
Like it just does not look good. And then you look at the AAA top tier games like Horizon or whatever, and you can tell they're targeting as many demographics as possible with launch. I can respect that, but I can see why people don't like that because that game should not be on the PS5.
Well, if that was the
that game
case,
could have been on the PS1.
You actually had to type in your birthday and be 18 years old or older to
For
watch
that?
this.
What?
When you entered it in, like I went to PlayStation, they're like, whoa, are you of age to watch this video? And I'm like,
What's going to
yes.
go on in here? What the heck?
So I did my fake birthday
Right.
just because I never do my
I'm
my real-
120 years old.
Yes.
Well, no, I actually do my correct year, but
Everything else is different.
it's a different birthday every
let's
time I
mix
put
it
it
up.
in. But I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, why would they do that? Oh, it must be because they're going to be showing these epic, awesome games.
Yeah.
Because when I think PlayStation 5, I don't think like an 8-year-old's going to be like, I want the new PlayStation 5. I don't know. It doesn't feel like, I think Nintendo when I think little kids,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not a pro at gaming, so like sure, these are just my opinions. But when I watch that,
When's it coming out?
this fall,
Ooh.
yeah, should be before Christmas. Although
Nice.
they did make an announcement that there's going to be less PS5s on release than PS4s they had on release because of COVID.
Yeah.
So they just couldn't make as many. So it's gonna sell out
Yeah, man.
like that.
When
It's
are they
gonna
doing
sell out.
pre-orders already?
I haven't seen it. Supposedly in the UK, some people were able to pre-order it on Amazon, which is odd.
Huh. That's
And it
weird.
went for £599, which is about $700.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
So we'll see. I don't
We
know.
will see how it plays out.
Yeah.
But for now, how about some super chats?
Yes.
Yeah. So make
do
sure
it.
you smash that like button. Smash it.
We are now
Where
going
at?
to
There we are.
read the things you have paid for us to say.
Yay.
Not all of them, but
As
to
many
the
as
best of our
humanly
abilities.
possible.
And that means, before we get started, make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Timcast to see me complain about stuff and post pictures of cats and skateboarding. You can follow at Adam Krigler on Twitter and Instagram, but on Twitter you can send him story ideas,
Yes.
Yes.
where he posts a thread and then you can, and we use them for the show very
And
often.
actually, I saw a couple people chatting about spintheufo@gmail.com. You created that yesterday,
I
right?
did, yeah. And people have
People
been
are
sending
already
me
hit-
their ideas. It's basically what they do with me on Twitter. So they'll send me everything that crosses their mind.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Perfect.
I like to read it, and I'm trying to read all of it. It's just a lot. So.
At gmail.com.
Yep.
And also you can follow at Sour Patch Lids
You
on
can,
Twitter.
yes, that's me.
LYDS. and send her stuff as well. But how about you guys? Here's what we're gonna do. I'll go over to the super chats. You guys just smash that like button while I start reading.
Yes.
Smash.
The first
And
super
subscribe.
chat. And subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
And hit the like button. Chris Pavoto says, great work every day. You three got an idea. Since Trump is labeled as the face/tweet of everything wrong in America to the left, okay, let Biden win. As a concession, the right gets the House and the Senate. Good trade-off. Thoughts? I know. If people are going to vote Republican in mass, I think it's going to be one or the other. I think you're either going to see Democrats sweep or Republicans sweep. That's why I can't imagine the Democrats winning. I really just don't see it. Grim Soul Banisher says, never apologize. Never bend the knee. I am an American at heart, and our rights come before anything else. I won't let these authoritarians win. I agree. A fake Lauren Southern says, Tim, I will grant you my first post-retirement interview on one condition. We must talk about my farts. That is indeed not Lauren Southern.
I wonder who that could be.
Yes. And then Brittany Fartybone says, I would also like an interview about my farts. Taylor Hayabusa says, have you considered the reason we are in the situation we are right now is due to natural selection no longer affecting humans? I wonder if that aligns kind of with my cookie dough analogy, where it's like all you have left are the bits, the sad bits.
Dregs.
You know what's a better example, I guess? The chicken nugget analogy. Once you get all the good parts of the chicken off, the wings and the thighs and the breasts and everything, and you send them over to Buffalo Wild Wings and like Walmart or whatever, what do you have left? Bone bits and
Nuggets.
cartilage. And you can't do anything with it, so it's kind of there, but you're like, so you put it in the grinder,
Yep.
make pink goo,
Comes out pink.
and then a little thing forms into the shape of dinosaurs,
Yeah.
and then they deep
And then
fry
they're
them,
awesome.
freeze them, send them out, and that's how you get dinosaur nuggets.
Gross.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's a better analogy.
No thanks.
Graf von Tierl says, CHAZ has such a sorry excuse of a garden that I can sense the whole commune can be a subject of a future internet historian video. It's just so hilarious watching the thing about the garden, man.
Yeah, it is.
King Canuck says, Tim, did you see the Fence Korean shirt? Absolutely hilarious. Now, because nobody can read this anymore but you, pretend the rest of this is horrendously offensive and no, too late. Mojo says, ref, Starbucks BLM ban story. Proof that Timcast is fake news, as there is no way that is true. Sarcasm. Yeah, apparently, according to the Hill, Black Lives Matter. Starbucks said Black Lives Matter.
Attire
Attire is not allowed. Yeah, you can't do anything to support it. Cole Erdman says, Tim, you say you think Trump will win in November, but a lot of people have said they won't vote because he is doing nothing. Thoughts? Also, just started watching the pods. Keep up the great content. I agree with that. I do. I think he's going to win simply because, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Okay.
2016. The media was like, Trump will never win. He's a loser. The polls are against him. Everyone hates him. And then he won. So they're doing the same thing now. I have no reason to believe him. But maybe. I've seen a lot of people, even Trump supporters, complain Trump hasn't done anything. Like, the Republicans had all three branches of government in the first couple of years.
Okay.
Well, I don't. Maybe they didn't have. I'm pretty sure maybe they didn't have the Supreme Court, but they had the House and the Senate.
Okay.
And then they lose the House, and it's like now they're acting like they're fighting against the Democrats. Like, what are you talking about? You had the House.
Well, what does that have to do with Trump, though? Isn't that the House versus the
It's
Senate?
Republicans in general.
Okay.
So Trump comes out and he talks big on a lot of things, but what's he doing?
Nothing happened.
Like,
Right.
how long ago was it where he made that website where he's like, send me your thoughts on social media censorship?
I don't even know. That was
And, like,
a long
nothing
time
happens.
ago. Like 2
So-
years ago.
Did he not create a booming economy, though?
He did.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty important.
But the comment, I think, speaks
Wasn't
to...
jobs at an all-time low ever?
No, jobs are at all-time high.
Unemployment, yeah.
Unemployment, yeah,
Unemployment's at
excuse me.
all-time
No,
high.
but the point is, there are people, as we can see from this comment, that believe Trump isn't doing enough. And you look at Ann Coulter, for instance.
No, that bugs me because, seriously, the Democrats were ripping him apart for thinking he could even do anything because it's all the states. He's like, we got to open up the economy. And they're like, no. How dare you try to tell us to do anything because we're in control of our states. Go F yourself.
If Trump. Sure. But if Trump really wants to win and bolster his base at this point,
Okay.
indictments.
So indict all the governors that aren't
No.
living.
The Obamagate stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Bring it on.
Like, people are going to want to see a perp walk.
That's
they want
actually happening right now, though. All these people are actually going to court, but it's not being sprung on the mainstream
people are
media.
going to
No
court
one's
over
talking
this?
about it.
I mean, there have been some hearings.
Yeah, that's
But
what I'm talking about. The hearings are going on
got a
for
bunch of
Obamagate.
subpoenas.
But how many times have we been through this? If the Durham investigation is going to bring someone
happening though.
Maybe. I think at this point, after years of going through all the BS, a lot of people don't believe anything's going to happen.
Okay.
I'm seeing high-profile Trump supporters who are saying straight up, if you think there will be high-level indictments, you're insane. And the people who did all of these things and lied, and we watched them lie and get away with it, nothing bad will happen.
And yet Hillary just lost her case and has to show up in September.
Lost what case?
Last Monday.
Yeah, but she's
she has to-
testifying.
Okay.
Like, what does that mean?
I don't know. It's
They
the
made
beginning
Donald
of
Trump
something.
Jr. testify. They made all of these people testify.
Okay.
Nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens. So people become disenfranchised. Now, it's
Or
hard.
empowered.
What do you mean?
I am voting for Trump. I would never have expected to have
The
said
economy
that
is
ever.
the best argument.
Yes.
Over the
100%.
past 3 months, I've done so much research on what's going on. I've got people hitting me up every day from all sides, not just the right, not just the left.
Oh, that really nasty one you got.
Sure, yeah.
You bigot.
Yeah, sometimes
things happen,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't care. I want that.
Yeah.
I like being like enlightened. I want to hear all sides of things. So when I'm seeing all sides of things, I'm like, wow, the left is really going crazy.
Definitely.
Wow, Trump's actually doing some things that are pretty
Something's
legit.
good.
Look,
Yeah.
I think Trump's going to win.
I think so too.
And but there are people who think that Trump isn't doing anything.
Okay.
So listen, you look at COVID and you look at how the WHO is now backtracking. They've inverted everything they said in the beginning.
Okay.
Everything was wrong the whole time. Oh, asymptomatic carriers aren't spreading this anymore, and the masks didn't work, but now they do work. Now they don't work.
Yeah.
And
ridiculous.
Trump dotes along with it. So listen, man, you like everything. Oh, man, there's so much to break down in how the RussiaGate stuff unfolded, how UkraineGate.
Yep.
And it really does seem.
And it all fell apart because there was nothing there.
Well, sure. But is the best that people are going to hope for when it comes to the stuff that Trump just holds his ground? Or are they going to hope that something actually happens? Now, maybe some people think Trump needs a second term to get the job done. We've got the Durham investigation is underway. Bill Barr keeps hyping it up.
Yep.
I mean, he's not really hyping it up because Bill Barr's a really tempered dude. He's like,
Yeah.
we're doing an investigation and it'll be done when it's done.
Okay.
You
Yep.
know? So he recently said there's going to be some familiar names that people are going to be surprised to see. I think right now, probably what's going on, because I don't trust any of these bigwigs and fat cats, is that somebody went to some high-ranking dude from the Democrats and said, okay, we're going to work out a deal. No one will ever say your name. Don't worry, but we're going to throw this guy under the bus. I'm willing to bet, there will be some names you recognize, and it'll be some low-level FBI people, and people are going to go, oh, that was it. And that's what you'll get. Like, the Flynn stuff is crazy, man. Like, I don't even understand. The media is so
The Flynn
clearly
stuff.
lying about what's going on with it. The
Yeah.
FBI note said, what should we do this for? To get him fired or get him prosecuted?
Right.
Why would law enforcement be like, we want to get a guy fired?
Yeah.
That is not, as my understanding, in the purview of law enforcement to go after someone's job.
Yeah,
Shouldn't
you
be
asked me what
normal.
he did, but it's like, what have the Democrats been doing? It's like, all I can think is
That's true.
them trying to shove Russiagate down our throats for 4
Seriously.
years,
Oh my
It's not even
only
a
to find out that it's all BS.
Yeah.
waste of everyone's time.
Yeah, no, especially their time. They're supposed to be working for us. They
No,
weren't.
you
They
know
were
what- you know
working
what,
to
man?
just get Trump out. It's
I'll
like,
tell you-
Come on.
I'll tell you why I can't imagine Democrats winning.
You know what that is? Hold on.
Because-
I just want to say this. That's wallowing in the situation instead of trying to move forward. This is what I was saying yesterday. That pisses me off. I can't stand that. We need people that look forward and move forward and look at the path forward and try to walk that line.
Yeah.
Not stand where I am and go, I don't like this. I don't like where I'm standing. Blah.
It's everyone else's fault. The world must spin for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm over that.
If there was one thing that I think was the final nail in the coffin for the Democrats, it's when they all said, man, watching the video of Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan go, I understand that you're angry, and you can be angry at me. And then she was like, 10 minutes later, now I'm going to go march with the other protesters, and I'm
Shoulder
going
to shoulder.
shoulder to shoulder. That is
Disgusting.
like,
Yeah.
I imagine what it must have felt like being one of the founding fathers. And the king was sitting there, holding out his pinky ring saying, like, I don't care what work you do. Kiss it.
Yeah.
And they were like, they stood up and said, no, bring your guns because we ain't taking this no more. Mm-hmm. So now I can imagine what it must have felt like for the people who actually live in Michigan, because I know how I felt when I watched her say that.
Yeah, I was
The
pissed.
duplicitous snake of, you're going to be angry, but this is for your own safety. And then as soon as she poo-pooed away the poor little people with their little barber shops, she went out and marched
Yeah.
for her ideological cause.
Yep.
And I got people saying to me, but you realize, Tim, that it's really dangerous that the barber was going to cut hair. I mean, he's coming in direct contact with people. And I'm like, you mean the barber in a town of 15,000 people with no outbreak?
Yeah.
Compared to the people marching in Detroit where there is an outbreak and they're marching shoulder to shoulder by the thousands with the governor?
Yeah.
Spare me, dude. I don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
I can only imagine you are going to see all of these people. What are they doing? They must be screaming, punching the wall like enraged. I've talked to some locals, man, out here, and they roll their eyes when it comes up about New Jersey's governor saying no one can do any of these things, but here to the protesters.
Yeah.
The rest of you will lock you up.
Yep.
It's like, dude, people are not happy about that.
It's the Democrats, man.
Look,
and have people
it
forgotten about that? It feels like there's a big group of them who are like, well, that didn't happen. I don't remember it, so I'm just gonna blame everything on Trump again.
they're not hearing about it. They don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
It's insane to me, but maybe we will see, like December in the UK when the Conservatives just absolutely crushed everything.
Yeah.
And it was just like a 100-year record defeat for the Labour Party, the left. Maybe that's what will happen come November, and everyone will sit there staring at, like, in shock how the establishment is wrong. Will Americans actually pay attention and stand up? I honestly don't know. Trump lost the popular vote. But I'm wondering now if the salon owner in California who was told you can't go to work and then all these protesters marched. I'm sure some of them are really dumb, but I gotta believe that in Santa Monica, when you see the video of like an old guy getting knocked over by rioters or looters or something in Santa Monica and the cops did nothing about it.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is LA County. This is deep blue. I got to imagine a bunch of those people are now fuming.
Yep.
Are they going to be like, well, I'll just go with the status quo? Maybe. I don't know, man, but I think people are going to snap. But it is true. Like, so the reason I bring this up with the super chat is I have seen people mention they're tired of Trump sitting around and watching this stuff happen. He didn't send out the military. He said he would. He did nothing. And so people are like, right now, Seattle has this stupid little occupation. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, I'm sure he wants to. I'm sure he's like, like, just ask me for my help, please.
I don't think Trump should go into Seattle, though.
I don't think so either.
Because it's literally...
it's on Washington State to deal with that.
But there's nothing to deal with. It's a bunch of hippies doing hippie dances and dumping dirt on cardboard and putting potted plants on top of it.
Also saying that this is no longer the United States.
Yeah, let baby have his bottle. Look,
definitely not. No, Tim. Absolutely
when
not.
a little kid goes around...
No, you don't give them the candy that they want.
No, listen.
No, that's wrong.
If a little kid goes out in the backyard and claims he's Officer Bradley, you know he's not really a cop.
Sure, but when he's whining and saying, I want the milk that's over there, give me my bottle.
Yeah.
I want it now. Give it to me.
And they're not giving the demands. The cops just walked in today. They walked right in, and people were yelling, form a line. No one did. They were like, link arms. No one did.
Yeah.
And the cops walked in the building, and no one did anything about it. Mm-hmm. The other day, the fire chief... what's up?
Good. No, I just said good. I think that's a good thing.
The fire chief walked up and started reinforcing barricades. Nobody did anything.
Not surprising.
Yeah. So it's a bunch of kids playing this silly little game, and fine, let them do it. So again, there's so many factors to try and figure out who's going to win. I have to wonder, though, if everything they told us about COVID was wrong, if they're lying about the protests, I can only imagine every single poll that's bad for Trump is a lie. Everything in the media about Trump is bad. It's always bad. Everything's bad.
Always.
That's impossible.
Every single time. It's impossible. You're absolutely right.
No way.
That's not possible. 100% of what he does is bad. That makes no sense.
Hey, look, man. It's like I said before, and I was talking to this local guy, and he told me I didn't vote in 2016, but he said he was going to vote for Trump because he was sick and tired of the negative media about it. Mm-hmm. He was like, man, just shut up already. I don't care. I'm going to vote. He was like, I'm going to go vote for the guy now.
Yeah.
He's like, because they just don't shut up about it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many people don't know or don't care, but are just like, you know what? F you. I'm sick and tired of your complaining. And that's what does it.
Yep.
Maybe.
Got me.
Maybe, man.
We'll see.
Maybe. Let's read some more of these super chats.
Yes.
Are we in super chats?
Yes,
We're still doing super chats.
Man, I forgot. Kind of got into a tangent there.
Says, hey, Tim and gang, you guys decide on where you're bugging out to yet? A couple buddies and I from North Jersey are between coastal Georgia, West Virginia, and New Hampshire. Thanks for everything you do. We have not. We'll see how things play out.
Word.
Brent says, Thomas Sowell wrote about how black culture and families survived slavery and Jim Crow, but was ruined by Johnson's Great Society. Lower poverty and single-parent rates before the growth of welfare. Do you know what that's about?
I'm very familiar with this. So Thomas Sowell talks at length about Black culture, and he talks about how it's actually provably true that the Black community had a stronger marriage rate than the white community, and fewer babies for a very long time were born out of wedlock among Black families before the introduction of this beautiful, benevolent welfare society. And then suddenly it was more profitable to be a single mother than it was to be a dad and stay at home and raise your family. So it's great.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So is that part of like the Black Lives Matter theory that it was on purpose to dismantle and destroy the community?
I think they really ignore that part of history because I don't think that plays into their narrative.
I know that some people on YouTube have talked about that and been called racist.
Yeah, I don't think they like to talk about Black fatherhood.
Research.
Kanye
Yeah.
West does though, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
He's a G.
Hey
Yeah.
man, look, I defer to Kanye. Right?
For sure. Me too.
I don't know. Darren, thanks for coming a member. Graf von Tyrrell says the Seattle police chief has recently stated that clearing the precinct wasn't her idea. She basically passed the buck on the mayor. No surprise there. Sarn Zero says Epstein did not kill himself. Interesting. Heard that one before. Kadrick Everson says the banned cards are mysteriously gone from TCG Player. If you try to check a price on MTG Goldfish, it's $0 even for Alpha.
Wow.
My Commander Weenie deck was suffering enough already before banning Crusade. This is, for those who are not familiar, Magic the Gathering, a trading card game about fantasy wizards and mages and goblins fighting vampires or whatever, banned a bunch of cards for being racist. They've instantly become, I think Ian was saying one of the cards went up 100, from $2 to like $200.
Which one?
I don't know. I think you maybe said in prison.
Yeah.
Like the prices are, they're gone. They're all gone.
I'm not surprised.
Everyone bought everything they could as soon as they announced they were banned.
Yeah, illegal art.
Yep, dude.
Yep.
Well, this is America, man. In America, you can't do that. Nah, sorry.
We don't like that.
I bought as many of the cards as I could as soon as it happened.
Yeah.
I already have Invoke Prejudice in my blue deck. So I was
It's
like,
banned, dude. Get it out of there.
no, it's not. It's
They just banned it.
in tournament play.
Yeah, well, I don't like it.
Okay.
I've
that's
never
fair.
actually gotten to use it though because it costs 4 blue.
It's such a brutal card.
It is brutal, but like against Vampire, like Ian's Vampire deck would probably be really good.
You got to get out first, though.
Exactly, and it's 4 blue. It's like,
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Now that we're out of the esoteric card game talk, Colin P says, Adam, you hyped for Bug Snacks? Can't wait for Bug Snacks. WTF is Demon Souls. Doesn't look as good as
Whoa.
Bug Snacks.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Dude,
Whoa.
Whoa,
admit it.
watch your language,
Bug
sir.
Snacks is way better than Demon Souls.
No.
Yes.
I want to take this outside, bro.
Oh,
Bug
shoot.
Snacks.
No, Demon Souls is the first game in the Dark Souls series. Technically, it's the Demon Souls series. It was amazing. It's probably the hardest of the 4 games. It's incredible. It's one of those games that I actually have a buddy who I forced him to play Dark Souls one time when I was at his place, and he was like, how do I not know about this game? I'm going to play all of them. And he called me up. He's like, dude, I'm halfway through Demon Souls. I just broke my controller.
Is that was that the first one or what?
Yeah, the first one.
Wow.
Yeah. Came
Cool,
out.
cool.
It was the first of the series. Yep.
Very cool.
I still
Amazing.
think Bug Snacks is going to be the takeaway
Yeah, I
hit
think
from the year.
so.
Game of the year 2021,
Looks
whatever.
so bad.
I'm so excited for it.
Some
Snacks.
Some civvy says, COVID spikes in AZ. How ironic and opportune. Senate race between McSally and Mark Kelly. Also, AZ is a battleground state, and Trump is scheduled to rally June 23rd. Can't wait to see how this plays out.
Yep.
June 23rd is going to be a very, very interesting day. Do you know
Why
why?
is that?
Another day in 2020.
Ocasio-Cortez's primary with Michelle Caruso Cabrera.
Oh,
She's going down.
I'm going to
I
make
don't know, man.
popcorn.
This is going to be one of the most important races, and this, I believe, will predict what may come in November.
Interesting. Okay.
Will the internet prove to be true and AOC win? Or will real Americans say, we don't like the crazy people, just give us the regular moderate?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, Michelle Caruso Cabrera is very much, I believe, in line with like the traditional Democrats and supportive of Nancy Pelosi.
Okay.
So she's a regular Democrat. But the question is internet real life now?
Ooh.
Will Ocasio-Cortez's 7
not.
million followers turn into a major primary win? It could be.
I guess.
Because she'll go on Twitter and say, tell all your friends and family to come out and vote for me. And that might be enough for her to get the primary victory.
Okay.
Michelle Caruso Cabrera is not as famous. Not
True.
nearly as
True.
famous. But we'll see.
New York's been through a lot.
Maybe
Yeah.
regular people in New York say, we just want things to go back to normal.
Yeah, maybe.
And they're going to purposely vote against her for that reason.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know, man.
It's
It'll
been a
be
crazy
interesting.
year. Normal
We'll see
sounds
how it
good.
plays out.
Yep.
Patton, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Cody says, choose your fighter, Sovereign Citizen FUD or CHAZ-IRL. I think that Sovereign Citizen would wipe the floor with a CHAZ.
No
game.
Seriously.
doubt.
Sarah Hill says, You're informative and entertaining, and I'm waiting for aliens, but I'm wondering if the Christians will mistake it for the rapture.
Ooh, good question.
That wouldn't
I
surprise
think the
me.
aliens will be clever. Connor Greenwell says, thinking of heading from my city of Lewiston, what is that, ME, Maine, population 28,000, up to Caribou, population 8,200, a small town with city amenities, middle of nowhere, and everyone is armed. Peace, beanie, brethren, and sis. There's a town at the very northernmost edge of like Maine.
Okay.
It's really interesting. They speak French.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because right across is like a town of 30,000 in Canada where they speak French.
Not surprising.
But they're all dying because nobody wants to live there. Nobody wants to be like a pioneersman, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Living out closer to the wilderness and building a new town. I actually thought a really, really cool idea would be to relocate to a small dying town in the middle of nowhere.
Just like
because,
that, yeah.
and then start building up new companies and new industry.
Reinvigorate it. Yep.
Yeah, and bring it back.
That'd be so cool.
Yep. Let's see. Diabolus says, this seems apt to now. The synarchy of molten bones shall consist of men of worth and men of ill intent in abundant yet equal numbers, for their insurgent wills harbor the seed of transgression alike. Interesting. Let's see. Patton says, keep up the reporting, will do.
Definitely.
Flood says, white privilege equals being called a racist every day. And spinning the UFO. It certainly is the white privilege of Adam
I'm gonna spin
to
it.
have a little electronic fan device
Yes.
to spin the UFO.
As long as you smash that like button.
That's a fair trade.
Lights are mandatory. Travis Potter says, I just
Smash.
found 3 cats in my garage, and it's my wife's birthday next week. I don't know what to do. Please help me, please.
Are they alive?
And wait, what do you mean you found... Oh, wait. Are you saying your wife went out and bought cats or something?
Oh, gosh.
Congratulations on your
Or
new
they're
cats, buddy.
I'm excited
for
for
her
your
birthday?
new cat adventure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cats are cool.
Let's see. Phonog Tephologist says, Yo, Tim Crute. It always seems interesting that the National Socialist German Workers' Party are associated with socialism. A political movement promoting racism and hiding behind socialism has no modern-day corollary, right? Interesting, huh?
No clue.
Hunt, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Deplorable Pirate Captain Gunbeard says, just wanted to put this out there for the new gun owners. 1, don't buy parts off of wish.com. 2, learn what hang fires and squib loads are. 3, Pittman Robertson Act supports conservation, tax on sales. There you go.
Oh, and I was told that the gun you're getting doesn't come with a scope.
Ooh.
So you're gonna have to get some
Yeah,
custom.
my brother
custom
recommended a scope.
I guess we'll get all the bells and whistles.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, but maybe
Jinx.
they're gonna they've got to change it for New Jersey law.
Oh, what
So
the scopes?
No, just everything about it.
Everything
It's got to
about
be
it,
changed.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Justin Gillette says, Super Chat number 2. Is it possible you create a smash that like button counter? Ella would be a fun quirk. Great show, and thank you for all the work you do. Well, there is a like counter.
I do like it.
That'd be fun, though.
We currently have 23,000 concurrent viewers,
Woo.
but only 7,200 likes.
Guys.
You guys got to smash that like button.
People,
Come
no,
on.
they must really hate us.
But what is the percentage
Do they really
of
hate- oh, they hate
regular
us?
likes
They
to
hate us.
smashed likes? That's what I want to know.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
How many of you are actually smashing the like button versus just clicking the like button?
Please
Smash
don't
it!
hate us. Don't hate us.
Smash it!
We love you.
Okay,
this
I'm
is why
done.
we're
I'm
here.
good. Please continue.
Here we go. Hutch the Wolf says that cookie dough to society analogy hilarious.
It's perfect.
Rick and Morty literally just did an episode with that as the concept.
Really?
Did they?
We gotta
Cool,
watch
gotta
that
watch
one.
that.
Is it a new episode out or something?
Maybe.
don't
I
know.
guess so.
Yeah, I don't know that. Dalton Lucas says CHAZ should try Barondo. It has what plants need, what they crave, actually. Master of Skitari says, check out who BLM is using to collect donations. Act Blue collects money for Democrat presidential nominees. That is a fact.
It is true.
Richie Hamilton says, y'all want some homegrown pizza? That's what you get when you go to CHAZ. Straight from the Domino's,
good, though.
a mile down the road.
Yep.
The Grizzly says, I grew up on a farm in Michigan. No, none of what's happening in the, I can't read that word, in the autonomous zone is correct methodology where you farm. Wrong season for half of the plants. You don't plant after May, period. These people are nuts. They're just playing a game in the park, man.
Mm-hmm.
Samuel Farmer says, the paper can be used to isolate the crops from the grass, but they are doing everything wrong.
Yeah.
The soil will get washed away by the rain and blown away by the
Yep.
wind.
Plants
I
will
could
die.
point out more, but I'm too poor. They are morons.
But thank you for that then.
Kyle Lovett says, thanks for all you guys do. I worked for the Marines for a while, and I was told by a major that she was part of the resistance. Really freaky stuff to hear from an authority figure. Stay safe.
Whoa.
Especially when it comes to the head counting.
Yep.
There is a video of people chanting the Black Lives Matter slogan, and some guy who's like in the National Guard or Army is chanting under his breath. Okay? If you don't think that this goes all to the top, you would be wrong. And there is a serious split in this country. Jessica Joseph says, I would advise using newspaper on an industrial-sized farm, but in an organic garden, you can use newspaper to prevent weeds. It's a very common practice in backyard gardens.
Sure.
Interesting.
There you go. Can be done.
But you need more than like 3 inches of topsoil.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it'll blow away and get washed away in the rain, which is very obvious because
Yeah.
it's on cardboard.
Yeah.
Chris Pavoto says, CHAZ might use Sprite because Seattle has a caffeine tax. Also, even Google Amazon campus in Seattle, extremely close to Capitol Hill. Think Amazon will tolerate this long if it affects the bottom line?
Oh, heck no.
I do not believe they would. TM says, when you start a garden, you can put down cardboard to kill off the grass and clear the area, but that takes 4 to 6 weeks, and you don't plant your garden on top of the cardboard.
Interesting.
Mr. McGraw says, the U.S. should say, fine, you're your own country, close the border with CHAZ, shut off utilities, revoke their citizenship passports, post CBP at the border, deny them entry. We gave you what you want. Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, but the people that live in the buildings there, what
Yep.
choice do they have?
that's
They would,
their
well, then
fault.
they would demand help from the U.S. government to save them.
That's a good point.
They would still have
That's what
passports.
North Korea does.
Ginger McIsaac says, imagine the Grand Mall seizure if Trump pardons Biden and Obama for their part in the investigation. Oof, that'll be brutal. David Kant says, on a different topic, did you see the Black Lives Matter Reddit AMA? The top person refused to answer any questions about money and income. Yeah, it was a disaster right here.
Interesting.
The Grizzly says, Tim, I grow plants. My brother does too. Currently weed, legal in Michigan. Though the family does own a farm and we actually are growing crops. I've been growing since I was 5, back when my grandparents owned another farm. Very nice.
Nice.
Don No says, LOL, you say you're left of center, but I think you are more libertarian than you want to admit. Also, don't look at any 4chan linked articles. I am left libertarian. That's obviously
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people often conflate Big L Libertarian Party
Yeah.
with the general concept of libertarianism.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm all about freedom.
Simple.
Same here.
KS says, I think Antifa is
For
short
everyone.
for anti-fact or anti-First Amendment. Ax
maybe.
Maximus says, I have started canceling things that I use from companies that have canceled people for saying what they want. I think this will be the best way for us normal people to show these companies to stop. I agree. Absolutely. James Litzy says, don't call it identitarianism or intersectionality. Call it what it is, racism. Well, no, yes, but the idea is you need to have something that better explains exactly what it is that they're like what. So here, listen, I once talked with Richard Spencer. It was at the RNC, and he explained to me that the white nationalists, he views them almost the same in many ways as Black Lives Matter. That's the core fundamental idea of identity as pretext for your government policy or authority. That's exactly what all of these groups do. So if you want to explain what they all do when you don't like that one specific thing, you call it identitarianism. Travis Teague says, love the work you guys do. Y'all are keeping me apprised of what's really going on in this crazy time. Any estimations on how long the CHAZ will last? At some point, cranky children need to go to bed. Occupy Wall Street lasted just under 2 months. But with CHAZ, they actually have buildings. And there's reports now. I read this article from the police that they're extorting people.
I told you about this.
I know, but the police have come out and said straight up, it's happening. Mm-hmm. They're trying to deny it, but come on, man. Somebody called the cops and said they're trying to shake us down, and the cops were like, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So what do you expect? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think it could probably last longer because they have buildings to occupy. Phil Backus says, it's hot how people forget about Ruby Ridge. Definitely, man. And Waco and a bunch of other crazy places.
Yep.
Busy Buck says, the career similarities between you and Alex Jones are surprising. Independent investigative journalism. Start your own studio. You should have him on the show. It'd be way better than Glenn Beck. I don't think I could handle the energy of Alex Jones. I would get steamrolled in 2
much.
seconds.
Yeah.
He's
I could see that.
yeah, dude. He's
He's
I didn't
something
know him
else.
before, but I've seen enough of him now to. He's a lot.
Ooh.
Rogero says, I'm Brazilian. I always thought the USA is the beacon of freedom. If everything fails, at least we got USA. Now seeing this CHAZ, I'm absolutely devastated. Oh, poor Brazil.
It's not going to last much longer.
Don't worry.
Kek Ozymandias says, Tim, I have been seeing fun activity on 4chan for the last week. This is the preemptive strike against BLM and Antifa. The second great meme war has begun. CHAZ, Antifa, BLM versus 4chan. Who wins? Called it. Mm-hmm. Listen, man. You guys, CHAZ must be protected. You know why? Because it is a meme factory. It is ripe for parody and satire, and it warms my day.
Yeah.
Everybody's making fun of everything they do, and it's like a reality TV show, man. You know?
It
Yeah.
does seem to be bringing a lot of people together
It
Yeah.
on both sides of the pond.
Not
No,
left
but
that
but in
hard
all
a long time.
seriousness, listen. Let me break it down for you. If the people who live there won't speak up, I won't speak up on their behalf. If they don't ask for help, then I assume they don't want it.
Okay.
If the people who live in the city have 12,000 people complain about the cops, so the cops left, they are getting exactly what they want. Let me make this absolutely clear. I've said it in the past several days. If you have 100 people and 10 of them are screaming and throwing diapers at cops, and the 90 don't say anything, consider those 90 people saying nothing abstaining from the vote, and those 10 people voting, and guess what? 10 in favor of disbanding the police, 90 abstained. Guess who wins? So if the 500 residencies or so in this Capitol Hill free zone refuse to say anything, and why would anyone come to their defense in that case?
You're right.
You can do whatever you want in your town. If nobody, look, if you don't like living there and no one will do anything about it, you can leave. Might not be easy, but you might as well do it. I would do it. So there you go.
That's also what a World War II vet said to someone. Asked him, like, what do you think about all these people that are burning the American flag? He said, tell them to leave the country then. Tell them to get out because we fought for this country.
Well, that's different. I don't have a problem with
If they
burning.
don't like it here, they can go somewhere else.
Well, it's no. I mean, we're a country of reform. If you don't like it here, then absolutely fight for what you want to
Yeah,
change.
you should be taking action.
However, the people who want to, they complain about California's laws and then they move to a red area and then change the laws to what California was. It's like that's
Colorado.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Oh my god.
They're like, let's make it awful like the place we came from.
Yes,
Yeah.
the place we fled.
We voted for a bunch of really bad things. We'll bring it with us.
Oh yeah.
I got no problem if somebody wants to complain about cops, if they want to say F the police, if they want to burn an American flag.
Yeah.
America is a country of dissenters who stood up to the authority. And
That's true.
it is an important and healthy thing that we constantly remember that because we don't want a runaway authoritarian state. The problem now is the culture revolution is changing what the American people think about freedom. Whereas we used to be defiant and it was very difficult for the government, we then started getting complacent. And now we have our culture literally forcing people who are not even in agreement to just give up. The best example is the Sheraton Hotel, where they claimed in the GoFundMe, he graciously allowed them to use the building. Yeah, graciously as in they showed up and said, we will destroy your life,
Yeah.
and you know it. And then he evicted everybody by
Test
canceling
us.
their cards, and that was funny.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
agree.
I love it.
All right, let's see what we got. Let's move. Here we go. Villa Music Dude says, heard of Friedrich Nietzsche, German philosopher that show how people envious of successful upper class. They use equality as a mask for their desire to create chaos, destruction, revenge. Excerpt is called On the Tarantulas,
Yes.
eerily representative of today.
Excellent.
There is no
reference.
better example of this than the fact that once they declared their autonomous zone, they put up there's a sign put up that said "Cowards hide behind their guns," and in this video you see the sign, and then they announce the John Brown Gun Club is here with guns for your safety. So as soon as they take over and say now we're autonomous, what do? Armed security guards,
Warlord.
border walls, self-appointed police, who then begins defending the property owners.
Yep.
Insulting people.
Congratulations, you've invented society. And you're upholding exactly what you claim to not want. No, because they're lying. They just want the power for themselves. They want to be the police now.
You're right.
Well, guess what? The residents gave it to them. All right, let's see. Vosh says, Tim, why don't you invite Antifa into your home so they can stomp around and play Revolution? You may think it's cute that kids are playing games, but I guarantee you the adults are sick of this. Then the adults who live there can all get up, go outside and say, get off of my lawn.
Yep.
If they don't do that and they won't stand up for themselves, don't expect me on the East Coast, 3,500 miles away, to start defending people who won't defend themselves. It starts with you. You can't assume that freedom will just be handed to you. This is something that Americans knew for a long time. Freedom isn't free.
Yep.
That we have people who sign up for the armed forces every day to defend our values and our way of life. Well, now when it's being threatened, you know what, man? I do think it's funny they're playing Revolution. I do. And apparently the people who live there actually support it. That when the cops were fighting with the protesters, 12,000 people filed complaints.
Wow.
There's only 500 residencies in that area. I'm sure not everybody likes it. I'm sure the people being extorted don't like it. Are they going to come out now and say, please stop extorting me? Or are they going to cower and then expect someone else to come in and save them? Listen, if you need help, you ask, I will give it. If people are harassing you and extorting you in this area and you come out and make a video saying, please help me, these people are harassing me, I will talk about it, I will highlight it, and I will say this is a problem. But if you're not going to do that, I don't know the problem exists. I'm not going to assume people are unhappy about it. They seem to like it. They seem to be having a good time. Their pizzas are coming in and they're giving out ice cream. Well, there you go, man. You get what you want. CSFL says, check out Welcome to the Private Police. A bit of Fry and Laurie BBC. I kneel for no man says, where's all the press about us Hispanics? I feel left out. Well, the Hispanics were dominating the news cycle all of the past year, and now it's switched.
Yeah.
Drake Icarus says, yo, Tim and crew, thank you for your devotion to the truth. I've been watching you since I was a young anarchist in high school during Occupy. Since you have been my most trusted news source, thank you for everything. Appreciate it. Shonda says, I'm a pro nail tech with private studio in Cali. And yes, I'm beyond pissed. Was my strict rules and regulations for sanitation licensing all for naught? I feel for you, man. And I wonder how many, look, in the UK, there were areas that didn't vote conservative for 100 years. And they flipped. And people, like, the collective brick that was Shat was huge. It was massive. You could use it to make a building, a skyscraper.
Indeed.
People were freaking out.
Wow.
They thought they won. They were like, so I looked at the polls. I wanted to go back and see, like, what were people predicting?
Okay.
And there were a lot of stories saying the conservative majority is in question. They're not doing as well as people had expected them to do well. They're going to lose their majority. And the assumption was they would do well, but just not well enough to stop a coalition. They'd be under like 50% control of parliament or something. And then they just dominated. It was insane how hard the Labour Party got crushed.
Wow.
Same thing happened in 2016 with Brexit.
Yep.
They voted for Brexit, and then 5 months later, Trump won. So maybe we are going to be tracking very similarly to how the people in Britain feel, and it will shock and terrify these people. Could you imagine if the media, being a fringe minority of the country, really does believe they're the majority, and then it turns out they finally realize, according to the polls, you're like 8%. What will they do? They're gonna have a panic attack. They're gonna have meltdowns.
Yep.
Elite Spanker says, our job site is across from CHAZ. Our job site is being shut down at 11 tomorrow because there is going to be a major riot tomorrow. We have had 2 workers attacked in the last 2 days. Now that I will definitely speak up for.
Cool.
That's a good, for sure. That should not be happening. So then if that's the case, and if the government won't step in and people are being attacked, definitely then Trump's got to step in and do something. Aaron M says, so Hong Kong government is requiring teachers to take mandatory training to be professional and love China, as well as report students who disrespect CCP anthem and flag. How long till the woke brigade tries to force this on the U.S. education system? I don't know, a week? Carnell says, hey, Tim and crew, I got a hot take for you. 2020 election, Biden/Clinton versus Trump Kanye. Who wins? Keep up the great work and spin that UFO. Oh, dude, Trump Kanye.
Oh yeah,
man. Trump Kanye.
Are you
would
kidding? So
people-
much energy.
Slaughter.
Dude, people underestimate the power of Kanye West. They really do. You will be a fool to underestimate the power of celebrity, and I mean it.
Yeah, look at Trump.
I saw some comments. It was crazy. I was reading Twitter threads. This was a while ago.
Especially base celebrities.
Yeah.
It was around the time that Trump went to Kanye went to the Oval Office and like met with Trump or something.
Okay.
And I saw Twitter threads from people ragging on Kanye, and then I saw other people defending Kanye, and the people who were defending him were talking about how they woke up. I don't want to say they said they were red pilled, but they were like Kanye brought them the truth and they can see for themselves. There are people who just love Kanye West.
That's literally red pilling.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But they didn't say red pilled, I mean.
No, they got red pilled.
But no, but I don't think so. I don't think they were.
I'm saying.
I think they're fans of Kanye.
I could say it.
They're not red pilled. They're
Okay.
fans of Kanye. And when Kanye said, I'm doing this, he said, you got it, Kanye. I got your back.
Okay.
They don't know why. They don't know the full reasons. All they know is Kanye is he's the dude. He's the man. And they love and respect him and they want to be like him. So if he said it, that's what they'll do.
Oh, that's a little bit different than what you just said, though.
What do you mean?
You just said that they watched him and then they woke up and saw for themselves.
They were saying that Kanye like woke me up, man. He's speaking the truth.
If they were able to see for themselves.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
I was saying it.
they're claiming that because of Kanye, they now understand and they're going to vote.
Right.
What I'm saying is what I think really happened is that Kanye is a celebrity, and celebrity power means people follow no matter what he says.
Okay.
So there are a lot of people saying Kanye's wrong, he's gone nuts, and they're like, nah, man, Kanye's right. He's the best. He's showing me what's really going on. Kanye could come out now and say, no, I was wrong. And they'll be like, you know what, Kanye, you were right. You were wrong. Like, they'll just follow what Kanye wants. That's what I'm saying. If Trump ran with Kanye in the ticket, all these people just love Kanye. They're going to be like, yeah, President Kanye, yeah.
Yep.
And they're going to go vote.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to just go for it. Who's got that excitement for Biden and Clinton?
Oh my gosh.
Not me.
No
Yeah,
way, dude.
there's no
No
energy
way.
there.
Sorry.
I would consider voting for Kanye. You know why?
Why?
Sounds exciting.
It does. Sounds interesting.
that'd be really cool.
Who knows what's gonna happen?
I don't think Kanye, like they call him crazy. I don't think he's that crazy.
He's not. He's a businessman.
I don't think so. He's smart.
When you see him do these crazy press things,
Mm-hmm.
like when he grabbed the mic from Taylor Swift and was like, "I'm gonna let you finish." Come on, man, that was planned. He knew exactly what he was
For
doing.
sure.
It was very, very smart.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was planned. I'm sure Taylor Swift knew and everybody knew. And after they finished, they walked out high five.
No,
and
she
they're
was
like,
probably the only one who didn't know.
Yeah,
Because they
I would-
needed the
I'd have
reaction to
left
be
her out of the
genuine.
loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, they came back and she was probably like, "What happened?" They're like, "It's going to be great. We're going to do a bunch of interviews. You're going to raise your profile." And she's probably like,
That's right.
"Awesome. This is
Okay.
fantastic."
Yeah.
Yeah.
She probably walked over to Kanye. "Thank you so much for this." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Don't worry about it. They said you'd be cool." And it's all staged, man.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan C says, "Tim, curious on your opinion of drug cartels being the first thing the media will have to cover. Honestly, after it stops lying to everyone, I don't know. I have no idea. Are they not covering them? I don't know." Stephen Shank says, "This past weekend I became a firearm owner. The talk of defunding and disbanding police is frightening. I hope it was a waste of money. Seriously. But it won't be. It just make sure you have training and you do everything right, and you have to respect the weapon." Sedish, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
John Tice. Oh, we just jumped. All right. Well, where are we at?
We're doing pretty good. It looks like.
It just jumped way too much. Okay, I lost the super
okay.
chat. There we go.
Oh,
John Tice says,
There you go.
"The poll that has Trump at 38% approval was 25% Republican, 32% Dem, and 44%
Yeah.
Independent. Check the analytics on these. They oversample Dems to guide the results and drive a narrative. Did the exact same thing in 2016, and that's why I think it'll be
it.
fake."
Quill
Bingo.
drop.
Yep.
However, the oversampling was, I think the amount of people who voted, registered voters, was like 33% Republican. So they did undersample for sure and oversampled independents. They do this because people will vote for who they think is going to win. It's a known fact. So they're trying to pump the polls so that regular people go, "I'm not going to vote for Trump," and they go out. Jesse says, "Tim, I'm from a town near Buffalo, New York. Most towns in Western New York are Republican. Most of Western New York was red during election. Do you think states could divide into new states via secession someday?" Well, there's talk of the state of Jefferson in the Pacific Northwest, where like Idaho would grab, parts of Oregon,
Yeah,
and
that's kind of cool to learn about.
they've talked
Yeah.
about it for a while.
In Washington.
Yeah.
Want out of that.
Insanity says, "I'm an ER doc in St. Louis, got reprimanded and my job was threatened for saying our administration is putting ideology over science and our own official recommendations in a daily meeting. Because you have to bend the knee to the church, man." Nick Crouch says, "Same. I work at a hospital in STL. I sent you a video, Tim, and I'm reprimanded for not liking politics, especially race politics, in a hospital. Bend the knee, man." B. Anderson said, I mean that sarcastically. They're trying to make you do it. B. Anderson says, "I think they are trying to simulate the black plastic you lay down to prevent weed and grass. But I think a cut hole for the actual plant to put into the ground, but I'm no farmer," in reference to the CHAZ. Cal Ken says, "From Black Lives Matter, what we're about, PG. Why they don't highlight welfare problem. Disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended family villages." Huh. Totally wasn't my fault says, "Who would win in a fight? Creepy Uncle Joe Biden or Bill I did not have sex Clinton?"
They're both old.
Yeah. I think Biden would win.
They'd both just fall asleep.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Biden would win.
You think so?
Yeah, because Bill is too, I don't know, though. That's tough.
Hillary's been draining the life force from him for a while. You
Yeah.
can see
She's
it.
got a point.
Oh
Yep.
man.
Yeah, I got to go with Biden on that
Yeah,
one.
I think so too.
Surprisingly,
Yeah,
I
weird,
vote for
right?
Biden.
Yeah.
So, again, it's the only time I'm
Only
going to
time
vote
we'll
for
ever
Biden.
vote for Biden.
only in these polls is when I'm voting for Biden.
Seriously.
Snafu says, "We all know that Tim, Soy Jesus, and Lids are hyper-based, and that's why we smash that like
That's
button."
right.
that like
Smash
button.
it.
10K likes right
Whoa.
now.
Yesterday too. I'm
We
glad.
do
Thank
have
you.
10,000 likes.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Nailed it.
Adolfo Gutierrez says, guys, you got to cover the Vegano letter." What is that one? Is that the bishop who praised Trump and said it was a plot to shut him
Might
down?
have been one of
I
the
think
same.
so, yeah. I'm not certain though.
Zardaz the Hammer says, "Let them keep the CHAZ. This will serve as a permanent reminder of what happens when Democrats are in charge of your safety and civil rights."
True.
Cairo Tan says, "For Flynn case, the amicus claimed defending yourself against entrapment is an attack on justice." Crazy. Morgan Scott says, "I'm happy to have an outlet of logic and normalness, as my parents are leftists on the fringe of the fringe variety." That's a bummer. Sad to hear it. Aaron says, Tim, does the left not realize that rural America supplies all their food and are heavily armed? Is this what happens when you shut down state institutions? Yes. John C. says,
I have no idea.
if the culture revolution happens, what do you think will happen to the USA being the world leader? Worries me being from Australia. The food is made in the rural areas by people who are heavily armed. If something happened and there was a contested election, Trump need not do anything. The Democrats talk, like Joe Biden said, the military may be needed to pull him out of office or whatever if he loses.
Yeah.
If Trump came out and was like, they're cheating, then the red states would just shut down their roads, stop sending out food, and all the blue cities would start collapsing overnight. And all the people would flee and go nuts. And then it doesn't even require a real civil war, honestly. If it really broke down between red and blue states, if the red states were just like, no, we out. The left's only saving grace will be California's farmland, but a lot of the farmers there are conservative, and they might just barricade their farms and be like, nope.
Yep, that's a good
And then
point.
the red states are going to be fine and have all of the supplies, and the cities will just become wastelands.
The divided states of America, yo.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you, everyone. We just hit 300,000 subs.
We hit 300,000.
Thank you, everybody. We wouldn't be here without you guys.
Yeah.
We have
And
so many
we
subscribers.
really appreciate
We
you
have so
all.
much fun with them.
I
Yes.
especially do. I mean, I'm speaking for myself, I guess, but I'm assuming I speak for you too, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
We all appreciate you
Of
guys.
course.
We do.
Thank you so much.
It's been
Absolutely.
4 months,
4
Dude.
months.
and we broke 300,000 subs. That's
What
crazy.
a wild ride.
Maybe one day we'll get to a
Yay.
million.
I'm clapping for us
Yes.
right
Clapping
now.
for us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am clapping for you.
Yes. Thank you
Dear
very much.
humble
Thank you
viewer.
very much,
Yay,
everybody.
Good job, everyone.
So if you haven't already,
Smash that like button.
well, I was gonna.
No. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I
was gonna
get
say-
hyped. I get hyped. I can't help myself.
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast. You can follow at Adam Krigler on Twitter and Instagram, and you can send him story ideas on Twitter. And you can also follow at Sour Patch Lids, LYDS, on
Yes,
Twitter
indeed.
as well, because we talk about things throughout the day.
Yep.
And subscribe. So, smash the
share,
like button.
and share.
Yeah.
Hit the
Share
notification
videos.
bell.
It helps a lot.
And we're also, for those who don't know, we're on iTunes, and I think we're on everything, right?
Yeah, we should be on everything at this point, and I
Spotify,
upload it
Google
every
Play.
morning. First thing I do in the morning is upload the podcast. For
So you
guys.
can listen to the full podcast.
Yeah.
We do put up clips every day.
Yep.
But we got a bunch of projects coming up, man.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
we
yes.
made some moves today.
The moves are being made.
Yep. There is going to be probably a vlog channel popping up, which is going to be
Games.
skateboarding. It's going to be
Baking?
shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
It's going to be, for the first time, content that is video oriented, because most of the stuff we do is podcast conversation.
Yeah.
A new channel will be coming up probably in the next month or two, which is going to be straight up video content.
Fun.
There's going to be skating,
Off the
adventure,
scenes. What do we do
zip
outside
lining,
of this?
archery,
Yep.
shenanigans.
Archery.
And
Your gun.
so,
Yes.
Learning how to shoot
Gotta
your new
unbox
gun.
the gun. Oh man,
Yeah, the unboxing of the gun.
I'm thrilled.
the
That's gonna
unboxing
be-
of the gun for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
We're gonna
no
have a new
doubt.
channel.
No
Oh,
doubt.
yes.
And yeah. So I'm going to read a couple more super chats, but we are getting ready to wind down. So again, make sure you smash the like button.
Smash.
And let's read this. Cirilio says, "What's your opinion on the exposed use of UK's largest lingerie company's website being used?" Whoa, I don't know anything about this. I honestly have no idea what it is, but people are calling it Pedogate.
Oh no.
Can't comment because I don't know.
No.
I have no idea.
I'll have to look it up.
Jolly Grapefruit says, "Imagine LARPing a secession from the U.S. because you hate police, and then allowing a warlord to take over and begin a protection racket literally overnight. This is ironic poetry in action.
I love it.
How wonderful."
Yep. It's true.
Tender Whale says, "Keep up the good work, Tim. Been watching a few years. Love your coverage. Don't get burnt out." Oh, definitely not. We're expanding, baby.
Yes.
Yes.
Robert Mares says, "Do you think bringing back mental asylums with better regulations may help with the homeless problem?" Maybe.
Maybe
Yeah.
so,
Maybe.
yeah.
I don't know. Not all of them are mentally
King
out there.
Shazit says, "So none of my super chats went through. If you are referencing that we didn't get to read all of them, then I apologize to everybody we didn't get to. But to be honest, I think we probably have like hundreds of super chats. We literally, it's just impossible to
Yeah.
We
read
do our
everyone's.
best,
crazy.
guys.
I wouldn't know how to, so I try to read as many as I can. Let's see. Scott, thanks for the super chat. St. Miles says, "Ordered harumph and saucer shirt." Ooh, that is an
Ooh,
excellent
yeah.
super
Ooh,
chat.
good
Both.
point.
Very nice. Thank you for
In
the
the
support.
description below, or maybe even just below the video player. The Spin It should
Yeah.
be there now,
It's
right?
there.
It
yeah.
is
I'm
there.
looking at it
We
now.
got the Spin the UFO
Yes,
shirt.
UFO. Yeah.
And the
Spin
harumph
it.
shirt.
I'm gonna spin it right now.
Do it.
Someone
For you, Cal and
did you
P,
see the
who just
painting?
told me to spin it before I go. I will.
Dude, yes,
You see the painting someone sent us?
No, I didn't
Yeah.
show you that. Oh my gosh.
Canvas. It's
Why do you
canvas,
guys
right?
not show me
It is
this kind of stuff?
I laid it out on the floor. And
I'm
the cat,
upset.
The cat was gonna sleep on it. Okay, strong argument. Wasn't
We had
gonna
to
let the
stop-
cat
we had to
sleep on
stop
it.
Buku
well,
from-
you guys
Yeah, sorry.
gotta include me in the fan mail.
I know.
all
I'm
right?
sorry. I
It's
forgot.
not cool.
Well, the box is just
Is
coming
it
in.
cool? No. Thank you. See,
Okay,
they
yeah, there
agree.
you go.
All right. Okay. Well, in that case,
Alright.
Uh-huh.
Adam is upset because we didn't unveil the painting that someone sent us. So go to timcast.com/donate. There is a P.O. box, and you can send mail just for Adam,
Yeah.
And
We
yeah.
can't open it. He'll open it.
and
Yeah.
we'll make sure he opens it.
and he doesn't have
Yeah.
to show us.
Yeah.
All right. All
Like
right.
siblings. Oh my gosh.
Yep. Well, I certainly hope all of you have had a good night. We are getting ready to go to bed, but we will be back. What's today? Thursday?
Yes,
Wow,
it
We
is.
will be back
Thursday.
tomorrow.
It is.
Tomorrow,
Time's
Friday
flying.
night.
Yeah.
And Friday night is the special night. Why is that special, Adam?
Cause we gonna jam.
Oh.
At the
yeah.
end of
I
the
don't know what that voice was.
I don't know.
At the end of the Friday night shows, we play some music, and
Well, you didn't last week.
because
tonight you
I
gotta-
lost my voice.
I know.
man.
I know.
Hang
I'm
on-
just
hang
giving
on to
you,
that
giving
voice.
you
Yeah,
some
we
stuff.
actually skipped. I think we skipped a day because I had.
Yeah, I know that's true.
Yeah, I was losing
Yeah.
my voice.
But I will jam. Yep. I love jamming for you guys.
Hopefully tomorrow I'll maybe play something lighter and less belty and less aggressive,
Yeah.
and so it doesn't really.
Maybe just chill song. We
Just
can
a
have a
chill
chill
song.
sesh. I'll play
Chill
some of my
session.
slower songs.
That'd be fun.
So make sure you come back and hang out tomorrow if you want to see Adam and I sing some sweet,
Take
sweet
it
music,
easy.
Some sweet tunes.
sweet serenades into your ears. But
Yes.
that being said, we're going to wrap up. So again, Timcast on Twitter and Instagram, Adam Krigler on Twitter and Instagram, Sour
Yep.
Patch Lids on Twitter.
Correct.
Subscribe, like, share, and we will see you all tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Good night, everybody.
Night.